12920 Third Avenue Street, Winter, California. Coming from Under City Comics, this is Keeping Up with the Nerds, issue 227. My name is Rene.
This is Bryan.
It got so much worse.
I know.
It just kept getting worse.
Why didn't you just shut up? Why did you have to talk? It was Renee's responsibility to open the show. Then all of a sudden you're over here like 1279227.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I get it in your head?
Yeah, you did.
He even turned to me and he was like, "Why do you always have 7?
I could in the voice.
Where's the 7?
I could just picture Rene because I didn't have to look at him, but I could picture inside his head right now. He was just debating. I'm like, I don't want to finish this. Yeah. I don't. But you know what? If we don't, then we don't start the show. You're internally fighting yourself, dude.
Yes, I was.
I'm proud of you,
that
though.
Was hard.
I'm proud. Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Keeping Up with the Nerds, issue 227. Don't forget to check out our website, keepingupwiththenerds.com. Check out all our socials, Instagram, Facebook, and xmen.com. Check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Keeping Up with the Nerds. If you guys want to see the podcast and our lovely faces, as well as all the videos that are going to be coming out for the month, and our audio platform, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Podbean. No Sean today.
No Sean.
No, for audio listeners.
Back to the original 3.
Back to the original 3. With guest Mandy.
Original threesome.
In the computer chair. But
Well, that's what she's reading.
Yeah.
She's just joining the cast. She's sitting filling in for Sean.
Yeah.
But she won't be talking.
No.
It's fine. No.
She has smut.
So just
to read.
like Sean.
No, I feel no.
Sean right now would be like, no. No.
First off.
Can you do a Sean impression right now?
No, I wish.
The one day that he decides or that he calls out sick here, did we even approve his sick time?
No.
No. He did it.
It's a no call, no show.
Yeah.
He called out at work, but not at here.
Oh, did he? Okay. All right. Well,
I found out that Sean was sick because I went on my calendar to like put things in, and then it says Sean call out, and I'm like, oh, he called out. I saw him yesterday.
Yeah.
I wonder how
he was
bad
fine.
it is. Yeah.
He was fine. Yeah, I guess later because we were playing games. I guess when he got off from us, he just couldn't stop pooping. Good for him.
All right.
I've been there.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but like, he didn't sound like he was dead.
Sometimes
Food poisoning took him out,
Some-
even for a late night.
Food poisoning sucks.
It does. Yeah, remember the orange chicken I ate when we used to work together, and that knocked me out for like 2 days.
Yeah.
The orange chicken did knock you out. You were a younger man then too.
I was. I think I've told that story on the show before.
You were definitely a younger man back then.
10 years ago.
Yeah. You could I think you could rally from orange chicken faster. Now that's a week.
Dude, I got food poisoning not that long ago over a steak sandwich. Threw up.
Right.
Steak sandwich?
A steak sandwich.
I got food poisoning maybe probably like 2-3 years ago. I was going to a funeral and that was terrible because I was getting the symptoms of food poisoning while at the funeral.
That's fun. So you're at a person's death thing
It was a teacher.
while you were dying.
It was a teacher too. It was like a teacher that I had when I was in high school, and we went to his funeral.
How fitting.
And then like they're doing like the whole like thing, and they're doing the whole like religion
I thought it was just,
thing.
like on your mouth. I'm like, what are they?
No, they're
blessing your
doing
mouth? Like...
they're doing the whole religion thing, and then as that's happening, like my gut started to turn, and then my buddy that I went with started laughing. He's like, "Oh, it's because you're a sinner, like your body, God's rejecting you.
Oh my God.
He wants you out."
Oh,
it was good though because they had the speakers in the toilet, so as I was pooping, I could still participate.
I'm just surprised.
Oh yeah, he was a good man.
So the reason I say that it's funny that Sean didn't show up today is because he was been raving about Secret Levels, the show on Amazon.
Oh yeah, that
for
sucks.
The last couple days.
Yeah, he
And
really
he's
wanted to talk about it.
Telling us
Go watch it.
I watched it.
Show on.
I watched it.
They released.
I watched it.
Yet.
And you know what? We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it next week.
No, we'll talk about it now. We'll never talk about it again. Because it's his fault. No,
it was his choice to eat the Mexican food truck with a grade A.
I actually really liked it because level, oh my God, Secret Level
7.
I swear to, actually episode 7 is the Pac-Man episode.
Oh, I didn't get that far.
So Pac-Man is Shadow Labyrinth, the game that they just revealed over at the Game Awards.
That's interesting.
So it came out before the Game Awards, and because when I saw it, I went, "It's Pac-Man," and Justin goes, "What are you talking about?" And I go, "Dude, it's Pac-Man." I go, and they had this in Secret Levels, and I showed him the episode of Secret Levels. He goes, "Oh, that's pretty cool. I like that." So,
is it kind of like complimentary, or was it like kind of like a little bit of a teaser?
it's kind of like a teaser of like what the story is going to be about, where you're a humanoid, and then the ball is trying to escape that plane of existence. So it's making you kill and get stronger and get stronger and get stronger, so that way it can use you to escape.
It's an interesting concept. Have you watched any of Secret Levels?
Not yet.
No?
Isn't there a Mega Man episode?
There
in
is.
It's coming out.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's not. It's not. It's going to be coming out the
wait.
end of December.
Yeah. Are you, honestly, I think that's that one, and I'm interested in the Concord episode, only to see.
What they had planned.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure they came up with this when they thought Concord was going to succeed.
Yeah.
But they
How
had
that came out.
they had a really cool D&D episode. Their Warhammer one was pretty cool.
So I did. Then I did start this morning because I remember watching something about like the D&D stuff, and then I think we had to leave and go and catch the bus.
Yeah, the D&D one is the first episode.
Oh, okay.
It's, you know what, the show's not bad.
They're only like
honestly.
15, 20 minutes
Yeah,
each episode.
Yeah, not
Yeah,
bad.
they're short, sweet. The Sifu one was pretty interesting.
Sifu one was pretty cool. I actually really like the Unreal Tournament.
I halfway through that one.
That one's really good. I like that one.
Yeah. It's
So
what I will say. I think my only criticism. I get it because like Sean was saying, and we'll talk about it more when Sean gets back here. Next
Sean
week.
was blowing it really hard.
Oh, dude, he was. But and I feel like he'll kind of disagree with me when I say this.
Oh, I'm sure.
This show isn't for everyone. I think he was hardcore recommending it without realizing that there's an intended audience for this.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought the animation was beautiful.
The animation is great, but you're also a gamer, so this works.
Yeah, I don't see like a filthy casual enjoying it.
Casual.
I don't see. There wasn't any fault. There wasn't a Fortnite and or Call of Duty episode, so I don't feel like any of them are
It's
going
like,
to enjoy it.
but like even to start off with D&D is such a bold choice though, because like you kind of have to know a little bit, like the very
No,
top of it.
because fantasy is so open right now.
It is,
It's
it
so
is.
and that one didn't really need a lot. Like, okay, they have like this guy. He's gonna be sacrificed, and then they taking him to a dragon so that way he could be blessed. Like, it was just more. It was more high fantasy than it
Yeah.
was real D&D.
It was like 1/10 of an actual campaign.
Not even a 10th. Like.
A 1/20th
100th,
of the campaign.
like it was like a smidgen. It's
Yeah.
That's like yeah.
Like there are good
It's
episodes.
a session 0.
Yes, okay. Because like it's not really for everyone. I feel like it's for people that are willing to kind of be open about certain
Or are
things.
already fans.
Already fans, like the New World episode, the one where Arnold Schwarzenegger voices the king.
That one is so funny.
That one's great, and
It's
I honestly
really
had
funny.
no idea what New World was about. I'm not interested in playing it. I just looked it up, but I'm like, oh, it's a funny concept.
New World's cool. It's I'm it's not my kind of game, but it's fun.
there, yeah.
It's cool.
The Sifu one, basically like a short. Do you know the game Sifu?
I really enjoy Sifu.
It's-
Sifu's really really cool. Think of so you know not Onimusha. What was it? Shenmue. Where he comes, so think of the whole like premise of Shenmue.
Okay.
But if in Shenmue, every single time he went to go fight, he would fight the boss. Every time he'd die, he would then age 10 years.
Oh.
And then his martial arts would get stronger.
Oh, okay.
And so every single time you die, you age until either your lifespan goes out or you complete what you were doing.
That's pretty good. That's a good concept.
It's an interesting concept.
And but you have to do it in one single run.
Yeah.
So if you're playing Sifu, if you die during that, if you die all the way till you're an old man, you can't die anymore, or else you go all the way back to the very
Start
beginning.
again. Oh,
So you only get one chance at this.
oh wow.
It's a fun game. It's really really fun. Pretty hard. It's on the harder side of combat, but it's really fun.
It plays like a mixture of old school Ninja Gaiden and Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Dark Souls.
Because once you've played a level a certain amount of times, you kind of know what to do.
Yeah.
Because you're like, okay, I know where this bat is, or I know where this gun is, or I know, okay, cool, I need to take out that specific person because they're the hard person to get rid of, or they're going to be a pain in the butt. And then you're able to strategize your way through the building.
Yeah, but we'll talk more about secret levels when Sean gets back here next week, and I think that we really can't fully discuss it until all 15 episodes have been released.
Yeah, I think only what,
8.
When's
there's
the other half coming?
I think in the next.
the end of December.
Oh, okay.
So
It's an interesting
I think
release
it's actually today. I think it's Friday. I think it was today the 13th.
that they released everything else.
Yeah.
The thing is that, and I don't get Amazon's methods of like advertising stuff, because they advertise like, and I get it, maybe it's because it's not as open to everyone else and not everyone's going to care about watching secret levels, but like you see every other Amazon property get like full on advertisement, and then here it is, secret levels.
I didn't even know it was a thing.
Yeah, I knew it was a thing, I just didn't know it was released.
I didn't know it was released. I didn't know it was a thing until Sean mentioned it, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And then
no, Sean didn't mention it. He walked into the chat with like, guys, all right, secret levels 10 out of 10. Splooged all over me, but you know what, worth it.
He enjoyed it. He was having fun. He
that
loves.
likes, okay?
Sean loves video games.
Yeah.
That is, I love Star Wars.
Sean, no, there's a difference.
You love soccer.
Yeah.
Renee loves
No, to say that Sean's passionate.
comics.
Yeah.
Batman.
Sean,
Mandy?
Yeah.
There you go.
No, Rene loves Mandy. Sean is passionate about video games.
No, if video games were a woman, he would cheat on his wife. Like,
Then he's been cheating on his wife.
Christy, pause this podcast right now and ask him.
like
And do not start the show again until he answers legitimately.
If video games were a woman, he would be like, oh, I'm
Would
sorry.
there be an affair?
I'm sorry. It's
a
just
divorce.
she gets me. She gets me.
She understands.
It's not you, I swear. It's just we have a deeper connection.
Listen, I've had a secret love child between me and video games.
And then if like Warhammer's there too, I think Warhammer would also like be in the
Don't
bed.
look at me like that, Warhammer.
Yeah. Don't judge me.
Warhammer is the side girl.
Yeah.
About me. I got you, girl.
It's okay.
See, I feel like
call you
Warhammer.
later.
I feel like Warhammer's that girlfriend that's always wearing like Gucci.
Yeah.
Like that's the only thing you can buy her is like Louis Vuitton and Gucci,
Yeah,
and she
yeah.
needs like the most expensive Tesla.
And then once you
Like
spend
she-
enough money on her, then she
Then-
just leaves you alone.
Then she leaves you alone for a
I
while?
can't spend any more money. Otherwise, my wife will know.
Yeah, and then she's like, you have to open another line of credit for
Yeah.
her. That's Warhammer. That's if Warhammer
How
was a
many
woman.
lives does Sean have? How many wives? How many girls?
How many lives and how many wives?
Oh my God, Sean, you sick man. That's
Yeah.
probably his food poisoning.
That's his food poisoning. He's dealing with Warhammer.
Yeah.
It's Warhammer's threatening to tell. She has receipts.
Baby, it's okay. No. Give me another week. I'll give you $1,000 right now.
I
Just
swear.
I'll be back. Please,
Swear.
please, just don't tell my wife. Don't tell video games either, please.
Don't tell video games.
Don't tell Marvel Rivals. I swear.
Swear to you. If I go home today and I see him on Marvel Rivals, I swear to God.
If he jumps an extra 5 levels, you know that he's been on it the whole night.
I know for a fact that's what he's been doing.
If
all
he
day.
can play Marvel Rivals, he can be here.
He's leveling up right now.
He is.
Yeah.
He probably went up like 5 levels.
Yeah.
What a liar.
That game is not actually hard to level up in.
No, it's not. You
It's
just gotta
really
play
not.
it.
No, it's not. It's just you have to
play.
dedicate time.
Yeah, you just had to dedicate.
That's it. Yeah, we've been playing a lot of Marvel Rivals. Marvels have been on it with like with video
I've-
games. Snap, Rivals.
I was saying, I was gonna say on the podcast, because when we played the first time, you and I and Sean and stuff, it was so funny because we started at like at 9, and then after that I was like, okay, I'm getting off, guys, and then I got off and I was like, man, hey Mandy, and I'm like, so how long was that? She's like, you've been on for 3 hours. I was like, no, I haven't. It didn't feel like 3 hours. She goes, no, you've been on. It's 11. So I'm like, oh my God.
And
Wow. But I've never
What's
gamed
the?
like.
I'm sorry.
that's
What's the
thing.
point?
No, but the thing is that I've never gamed like that in a while.
It brought our feral side.
Gaming is like a thing.
Yes, it's
No,
a thing. But
it's something I haven't experienced in a while.
So that's the thing is that Mandy was telling you that you lost track of time.
Yeah, I was lost.
Andy's biggest
No, I think what was it? I was telling Monica too because Monica was like she was watching an interview with Raven Simone and the girl from Community.
You know what? I sent her that reel.
That's the reel you sent
Yeah,
her.
I sent her,
Yeah. She sent me the reel, and then she goes, "It's used as self-care." Because because what they do is they do Legos. Like Legos is their way of self-care, where I can shut out the world. I hyper focus in this, and I'm regenerating, and I'm able to kind of refocus myself, and it relaxes me.
Yeah.
Those 3 hours, that's what that was. It was you regenerating and you relaxing yourself.
What relaxing, dude. Andy told me after we got off our session of Marvel Rivals, she's just like, you haven't spoken like that in so long. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, you legitimately would not stop. It was like back in the old days when you used to play Call of Duty hardcore. Well, person on your left, on your right, all these call-outs.
Well, it's the combination of an interesting game and then a group of friends as well too.
Exactly.
Yeah. I haven't had a clan in a while.
No.
Yeah.
The camaraderie.
I'm a whore, so I've been.
I know you're like part of 6 different clans.
I was jumping because I get invited to play with other people with a bunch of people.
That's fine, and we're the lowest on the list.
No, you know what it is? You guys get on the latest.
And
You get on the latest.
Okay, well.
So everybody else jumps on really early, and then once you're playing, it's really hard to go hey, I know we're on a winning streak and all, but I'm gonna leave to go play with other people. And then you go, and then everybody goes bro, we're in a winning streak. You leave and we lose, it's your fault.
Yeah.
And it goes back to the mirror. It's like if they lose,
You
it's your
ruined
fault.
the circle jerk.
Yeah, no, you did. That's exactly how it was.
It's in the mirror.
We lose, that's your fault.
Yeah.
That's on you. I hope you're okay with that. And I was like, I'm not. I'm really not. They're like, we got a good thing going. Don't mess it up.
I do have to show you a clip from last night's session though, because we convinced Sean to play 3 more matches than he wanted to.
Oh yeah.
The last match, it was like an easy.
Now that I think about it, Sean wanted to get off. Maybe it was because he had to poo.
That sucks. Too bad.
No, maybe it was because his stomach was starting to turn on him.
No.
And he was like, "Oh, guys, I really got to get off." And we were like, "Nah, dude, you got to keep playing."
Weak mentality. No. No, there's a clip that right as soon as we finished the objective, I had my final shot on Star-Lord, and Nick activates his ult, swallows me up. Match ends. That was such a troll move, dude.
We won.
Sean has a capture card, so he says that he wants to record some of our sessions to put on YouTube.
Yeah, I think it's fun. The game is fun. I've been loving. Jeff is my favorite so far. As much as I love Punisher and I was getting a lot of kills with Punisher, Jeff is just super fun. He's just so fun and he's so cute. And you're just going around and you're like, wee, just scooting around. It's so much
I
fun.
learn how to play Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Spider-Man and Iron Fist.
I think I sent you one. Yeah. I think I sent you a TikTok the other day of how to play Spider-Man.
Yeah, they say you go to the character controls, you turn off easy swing, so you're moving around better.
Okay.
Yeah, because it'll auto swing you to places.
Yeah, but apparently Spider-Man's biggest attribute is the fact that he can take down characters with 250 health points.
His thing is to take out supports.
Yeah,
he should be. Spider-Man needs to swing into the back line, take out all the supports, and then pop back out.
Yeah. It's
an
interesting
entire thing.
Yeah. I actually saw a short on YouTube of a streamer saying that right now Marvel Rivals, the reason it's so successful is because it's what Overwatch isn't, which is not being competitive.
Yeah.
So it has an atmosphere of every character being overpowered without really being overpowered. So everyone's going to say that Jeff is overpowered because he can heal too quickly, or Hulk is too bulky, or Groot stops movement too fast. And it's like, that's not a problem. If every character's overpowered, not everyone's overpowered.
Yeah.
What's the syndrome thing? If everyone's super, then no one is.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, yeah, that kind of works.
Super. No one
Yeah, like if everybody's overpowered, then nobody's overpowered.
And it works because like people, like I've said this before,
It's a lot of fun.
Supports can still attack.
Yeah.
And then DPSs are punished
Dude,
if they're stupid.
I love the fact that Jeff is an assassin. He is a small, tiny shark assassin that just scoots up walls, and then you can like jump out of nowhere and just go pew pew pew, and then go back into the wall, and then scoot around and just keep on just avoiding people. It's hilarious.
If Sean can capture a couple gameplays, I think it'd be okay to post on
I just
YouTube.
want to become a Jeff main, and it's so much fun.
Be a Jeff main. We need a support.
So
I'll
funny.
stick the hot guy.
Have you seen that clip of someone taking his own team, and then when it comes to the
Jumping over,
and then they spit him out in front of the other team? When it came to you have to like hold the line or something like that, and they just killed everyone and stuff.
That's pretty.
It was
awesome.
really cool. He just swallowed his own team and then spat out his team at the other team.
Oh, that's not a bad move.
Yeah.
The one I saw the other night when I was playing with my brother was Doctor Strange opened up a portal, and then we all jumped through it to like get on objective, and we were killing everybody from above.
Oh, Andrew and I did a similar thing. Sean's Andrew, his brother. Where he opened up a portal behind enemy lines, and so me as Hawkeye was just literally picking off people as they were spawning.
So I didn't know this, so I sent it to you. Apparently, Hawkeye, he's left. So anything to the left of your cursor, that'll hit. Anything to the right, you'll miss.
Explain that to me after the show.
So let's say that you have the dot right here.
Uh-huh.
Anything on the left will hit.
Why?
As long as it's inside of the thing. If you go on the cursor and then everything to the right, everything will miss.
Why?
Because that's the way he's pulling his bow.
Oh. Okay.
Oh yeah, because you have more power if you go to the left. More.
Well, because his hand's right here and the arrow is coming off on the left side.
That makes sense.
So when when he lets go, it curves to the left.
So, that makes sense because there were Iron Man I was trying to take down, and if they were flying to my right, I'd have to position it.
Yeah.
So, but if you put your characters on the left, when you shoot with Hawkeye, more times than not you'll hit them.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, we'll see what Sean can do about posting some stuff on YouTube.
Yeah, that sounds.
It's
It's a lot of fun. It's a fun game.
It is. But we do have a pretty good show for you guys today. We got comic strips. We're going to be talking about the Video Game Awards, which we kind of slightly did with Secret Levels, and we want to go see Kraven the Hunter, which surprisingly.
Sucked. It was so bad. I showed up an hour late and it was still bad.
You know what? Would you say it's as bad as Madam Web?
You know what? I feel that
if you had to watch this, Madam Web, or Morbius, what would you watch?
Madam Web.
What a liar! What a liar!
The only reason I would say that is because I feel like I could make fun of Madam Web more. Okay. I feel like there just was nothing entertaining about Kraven. Because even the action scenes were boring.
Way to be devil's advocate. It's okay.
I feel like the action scenes in Kraven were boring.
They were, but I'd much rather sit through Kraven than Morbius or Madam.
You have Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah, Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Dude, I'm telling you,
shirtless Aaron Taylor Johnson. Did we get a shirtless Sydney Sweeney?
No, but
what's her name? The actress that played the
Madam Web.
No, not Dakota Johnson. What's her name? The other one, the Hispanic girl.
Callisto, or
not in Kraven, in Madam Web.
Oh, what about her?
The actress.
What about her?
I liked her better.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Anyways, comic strips portion of the show where we talk about topics that don't merit a 10 to 15 minute conversation. Are we ready?
Yeah.
DC Studios greenlights a new animated project in collaboration with Warner Brothers Pictures Animations. Dynamic duo. This story is being written by Matthew Aldrich and being made by a new animation studio in New Orleans named Swaybox. The story will follow the early days of Dick Grayson and Jason Todd. Swaybox will be using a technology known as Momo animation, which is a combination between CGI animation, stop motion, and live action real-time performances. And this will be the first time DC Studios collaborates between themselves and Warner Brothers Pictures Animation.
So I'm super excited because I'm wondering if this is the project that James Gunn was talking about, where he said we just greenlit something.
No, because this is coming out next year.
I know, but when he was talking inside of for Creature Commandos, he specifically said we just greenlit something, and I can't tell you just yet, but soon.
So I don't know if this was the one that he was talking about. I think it goes more in line with the fact that you were mentioning Clayface in conversations before the podcast started recording. I think that's the project he greenlit. This has already been in development because I think it releases next year.
Does it?
I think so.
Okay.
I read somewhere, but I don't know
it sounds like it sounds like it's going to be a fun time.
yeah, it is going to be.
Dynamic duo with Jason Todd and Dick Grayson, two unlikely brothers who have two different methodologies.
Yes. I'm just interested in seeing how the animation's going to work
Uh-huh.
and what direction this is going to go, since it's the first time that DC Studios is kind of working with Warner Brothers Animation.
I want this to play out like the other guys, where it's they're partners, like they're being forced to protect Gotham on a week that like Bruce is out of town.
Is it Gotham, or are they going to be doing
Bloodhaven?
Yeah.
No, because they're both Robins.
Yeah.
No, I think Dick Grayson's going to be Nightwing.
If he's going to be Nightwing and Jason Todd, because it just depends on. It just says Dick Grayson and Jason Todd.
Yes.
So I can see him being
early days.
In the early days. So I can see him being a young Nightwing, and then him being Robin, like a Nightwing and Robin
Because
in Bloodhaven.
Dick
That'd be
Grayson
interesting.
becomes Nightwing, and then Bruce meets Jason Todd, and then trains him. There's like a little bit of a
There's always like question, because Dick also doesn't quite become Nightwing just yet, because he goes with the Titans.
So he's still Robin.
He's still a Robin.
But it's more like he has his own team, but Batman needs a Robin. So he found Jason Todd.
Yeah, he doesn't become Nightwing immediately.
Jason Todd is the Red Hood.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Because he's still a Robin, and then when he goes with the Titans, he's like, I feel like I don't have my identity, and like he starts asking Superman about like what do I do about becoming my own like person, and then he tells him the story of Nightwing, a Kryptonian hero, like a Kryptonian superhero, and he takes the name Nightwing from that.
It'll be interesting to see if this is kind of like a story between Dick Grayson kind of giving the mantle to Jason Todd. Like he's kind of done being Robin in the Teen Titans and is training Jason Todd to be a proper Robin. And so they're probably doing some work in Gotham, and then it's his transition into Nightwing.
I don't know. I think it'd be interesting if it was the two Robins, because I feel like there's more comedy in that.
You think this is a comedy?
I feel like it should be a buddy comedy, because that premise of the two Robins together is hilarious. There's just so much room for comedy there, where they're both wearing Robin outfits, and it's like, didn't I just see you? Or like, why the short shorts and you have tights? Like, who couldn't do laundry today?
What do you want?
I don't know. I mean, I would be happy with either one, to be honest. I just want there to be the one thing when it comes to stuff like this. I just want to see a good either relationship or either way how they show they're so distant from each other.
Yeah.
And I've always admired when writers or directors tell stories like that, especially for the Bat family and stuff.
Okay.
We don't get to see a lot of interactions with a lot of the Bat family at all. So I'm just happy that they're doing something with Dick Grayson and Jason Todd.
Put Batman out of the picture after like 5 minutes and just keep it to them two.
I don't even think you need Batman. I think what you can do if you really want to have like Batman there. I think it would be interesting if Batman is consistently calling them both. Like you just see like the communicator and it just says Bruce or it says Batman on it, and they're just like, ugh. And it's two sons avoiding their father, and for whatever reason,
or Batman gets caught and they have to go save him.
Maybe Batman gets captured and everything else, but I think it'd be so much more interesting if Jason is getting irritated with Bruce, so he goes to go talk to his older brother about their dad. And then they both and then they don't like each other because Dick feels like Jason replaced him. Dick is trying to connect to Dick. I mean, Jason's trying to connect with Dick, and he's like, I just want to like find some connection here. And they realize that they have more in common than they do apart.
So Dick is no longer a dick.
Yeah, I mean, because also, Dick Grayson's really pissed off at this time. Yeah. Like when he leaves Batman, he's super pissed. Like him and Batman don't really get along for years at that point.
Yeah, this is the start of when he starts like not disowning Bruce, but kind of just like not seeing his way of things and
Yeah.
stuff, and thinks of better ways and stuff.
Yeah.
In his opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, like I said, I'm interested to see what happens. But...
You know who does really good skits about this?
Red Panda.
Red Panda does
Panda,
these
man.
skits all the time.
Yeah.
Where he puts them. That's why as soon as you said Jason Todd and Dick Grayson, I was like, somebody must have seen those TikToks and went, that's a gold mine.
That's a story.
That's a gold mine. Because I don't know if you've ever seen his TikToks.
I have. I'm not a fan of him.
Really?
He kind of undermines anyone. I feel like he's too condescending. He's more informative than the Straw Hat dude.
Watch
You
his.
remember his name?
I don't worry about his comic book takes and everything else. Because also
I've seen his skits. His skits are good.
his skits are really funny, and
They're really
especially
thought out. I
yeah,
like
they're
it,
really
yeah.
thought out, and especially like, did you see the turkey one? Where Alfred accidentally cooks Damien's turkey.
Oh yes, yeah. That was good. That was really good.
And then they're like, oh, Jason, we need you to go get a turkey. And he's like, I hate that kid. Why would I get him a turkey?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, because we need speed, and you're more likely to steal the turkey instead of buy it, and we need it right now. And then Damien walks in and he's like, you guys ate Jeffrey, didn't you?
Yeah.
It's like I've actually been buying new animals and putting them around the time when they're supposed to be murdered.
Yeah.
It's been a money pit, but today I guess it worked.
He did another good one where it was Dick and Jason reacting to Tim Drake coming out as gay. Coming out that he's gay. And it's so funny. It was just like, he goes like, hey, Dick, can I talk to you? He's like, yeah, what do you want to talk about? Well, it's just, I'm just kind of going through some stuff. Oh, is this when you come? Wait, are you coming out? He goes, wait, how do you know? He was like, well, I'm
your brother.
I'm your brother, and also we're great detectives.
Yeah, like we were. Like it's not. This isn't a hard story to figure out.
Yeah, and then hey Jason, how long did you know? Oh yeah, I knew as soon as I met him.
And then he's like, oh, that is not true. And then Damien walks in and he's like, oh yeah, he's gay.
Are we talking about how Tim's been gay for a while now?
And then he's like, and then he goes, I am not gay. And he goes, oh really? Superboy. And then Superboy lands and he's just like, oh god.
Bye. It's like,
bye. But that's what I mean though, is that
great.
if you write that properly, there's so much comedy there.
Yeah.
Or when they're on stakeouts that he puts.
Oh yeah.
And they're supposed to be asleep. There's one where Dick Grayson wakes up and Jason Todd is like, they're doing a stakeout, and then he's like, oh man, I can't believe I fell asleep. How long have I been out? Yeah. A week. He goes, I've been out for a week? What do you mean? Yeah. And he goes, yeah, man, you must have been tired. Like, I thought about waking you up, but you look sleepy. And he was like, asleep? I was in a coma. What do you mean? And he goes, what was the last time you actually slept? And he goes, 3 weeks ago. And he goes, yeah, you needed it, bud. And then they go and they're like, oh, is that building on fire? Oh, God, we were after Firefly. Bruce is going to be so pissed.
He does good stuff like that.
He does.
His comic takes are to be kind of.
If he listens to the show, good skits.
Yeah.
Just don't be condescending. That's all it is.
Everybody's a
or
little
educate,
everybody's a little condescending, Brian.
Yeah,
everybody can be.
Yeah, that's fine. Just do better. We can do better.
Even us.
Yeah, we can do better. I'm saying we can do better. We can.
Yeah.
We can. There's lessons to be learned, things to be fixed. It's fine. What are you looking at me for?
I'm waiting for you to move on.
Mr. I'm not going to let anyone take first place on Marvel Snap.
First off, you haven't even played Marvel Snap this week.
I haven't.
Right.
Dude, you know what's really funny though? You can tell Marvel Rivals is really taking over everybody's lives.
No one has played Snap.
Nobody played Snap. I went on today going oh man, Mental must have taken it. Because I was at 300.
Mental stuck
Dude,
on Marvel Rivals too.
Dude, Mental is at 100.
Oh, really?
I was at 3. He was at 2. Mental's at 100. I was like, oh my god, we all just stopped playing. We just abandoned this game. We abandoned this game for Marvel Rivals.
Pretty soon at this point.
I don't know if Mental's just waiting until the last minute to sweep second place. He's not going to sweep first.
Oh, I'm only at 1,000.
You're only at 1,000.
I have not done a lot.
I have 1,000 waiting for me in bounty, so I can go in.
I also have 1,000 waiting for me in bounty. So I'll do it this weekend.
We'll see. Per Deadline, Haley Atwell is set to reprise a role as Peggy Carter, Agent Carter, in Marvel's Avengers Doomsday. Rumors of having her back in the cinematic universe were talked about, with her starring alongside Chris Evans as Captain America. This was not followed through, given no proper story was created, and this idea was scrapped before development could even begin. Yeah. So I feel like they're slowly starting to make announcements for Doomsday, which I'm not liking because they've already said. Obviously, Robert Downey Jr. was announced we've known since
But he's back for both. He's back as Tony.
Back for both.
He's back as Tony, and he's going to be back. Chris Evans.
But they re-announced that again last week when they announced Chris Evans to come back.
Yeah, Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. And then now if they were to bring back Haley Atwell and make her Captain Carter, I would be interested in that. I think that would be kind of a cool storyline of like Captain Carter meeting Captain America.
Yeah.
And then they can finally like connect. You know, super beings. Super sex.
I was waiting for you to get. I was just finish your words. Get to the point.
They'll do it on.
You mean.
They'll do it on the
sex,
Shield.
Super baby.
They're gonna do it on the Shield.
No.
On both shields.
That's how it happened.
That's how it happens. They're gonna use the Shield as a bed.
I don't want them to announce. I don't want them to announce anything more. Just keep everything a secret. They have 2 years. 2 years.
I'm. You know what? And I get it too. It's so weird because it is 2 years, and I feel like this cast is gonna try and be bigger than Endgame.
Mm-hmm. No, that's what Kevin Feige said.
It's gonna be bigger than Endgame because you're gonna have not only characters from the MCU, but it sounds like we're also gonna have characters from previous Marvel movies.
Yeah, that's what he wants to do.
So it's just going to be a huge movie, and I also feel eventually stuff is going to get spoiled. So they're just kind of like, why don't we spoil it ourselves?
Just do it.
Yeah. I mean, that's like we've said it before. Spoil culture is really taken over, and no matter what, people are going to try and find certain things or make stuff up so that way they can get a click.
Yeah, no, 100%. We'll see what happens. Dune's back in the news. Ridley Scott's lost script for his version of Dune has been found. This is kind of a long point, so I'll try to get through it as quickly as possible. He made comments that the fans of the series would not have liked his version of the script. He opted out of commenting on the script any further than basically just saying that it was found. Basically, this was a screenplay written by the author of the original series, Frank Herbert, whose version of the script was so cinematically bad, Scott could only really pull 7 or so scenes to work with. Both Herbert's version and eventually Rudy Reitler, who ended up writing the script for Ridley Scott's version of Dune, they went for a 2-part, basically, film series. So they wanted to make it 2-part, just kind of like how Dennis was doing with this one, but I think he's doing 3 or 4 different
well, Dennis is doing 2 movies per book.
So he's done with 2.
So he finished Dune.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. He finished the first book.
He finished Dune.
Yeah. Now he has more books.
Now he's got Dune 2.
Yeah.
Which is technically Dune Part 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. No real reason as to why this film never happened. It could be problems that happened during his personal life. Specifically, this was around the time that Ridley Scott's brother passed away. It could have also been that it was way too financially taxing for the studios to fund.
It also, I mean, for him to say, I don't think an audience would have liked my script.
That's a bold take.
But also, I feel like that's the reason why it wasn't made. I can see a producer reading that script and going, I don't get it.
This was prime Ridley Scott. This was prime Ridley Scott.
It doesn't matter, though. If I'm not getting it and then you're going through personal troubles, we're not doing it. Especially if he was unmovable on his script. If he was like, no, that stuff needs to be in there.
There was a finished version of it.
Yeah, I know. And
it was going to move forward.
Yeah, and they were like, no, we scrapped it. Because it might have, maybe focus tests, maybe... what was it? There was a new producer. Maybe it was
like Dune was already confusing. I have Ridley Scott adding on to that. Like people are like, huh?
What?
Yeah, most of that movie would be dark.
Wait, why is there a vagina coming out? The sandworm. Like
Ridley Scott probably looked at Dune. Ridley Scott probably looked at Dune and said, like, so wait, I made a movie in a tiny spaceship. Then I made a movie in a dystopian city with a bunch of signs. Now you want me to make a movie in a desert where there's nothing to work with? Mm-hmm. No. Didn't like the set design.
Dennis Villeneuve did it, and he did a great job. So suck it, Ridley.
It was fun. It was great. It was great. Now that I've never seen the original Dune.
No?
It's
pretty wild. It's very 70s.
Yeah.
It's very of its time.
God. Okay, so you know the shields that they use for combat? It's like a big like
It's like a Voltron
hexagon
bubble.
box.
Yeah,
That's
I've
it.
seen clips
And
of
the
it.
way they walk, it's like doo, 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 and stuff.
Yeah.
Who directed that one? Not is it something Lynch?
David Lynch.
David Lynch. Yeah.
Yeah, that movie is very I did drugs. That movie is very much I did drugs.
What is it called? The Spice? It's actually cocaine.
Well,
just
because
cocaine.
it ends.
Cocaine.
It ends where Dune Part 2 ends. Like it ends
Oh,
the
so
same thing.
David Lynch did two
Just-
parts in one
he
movie.
did 2 parts in one movie.
I was like, I ain't gonna do another one of these. So, like,
Yeah,
I didn't understand the first book.
but there was a lot more to it. So like, there's a cut on it that somebody did where they go, this is the same runtime and this is where they are in the specific movie.
Yeah.
And you can see that Vanu is getting through the early parts a lot faster, whereas Lynch really lingers. Like the travel to Dune is like a good 10 to 15 minutes
So
of the movie. And there's a lot of like talking.
is this
in
movie like
between
more
there.
than 2.5 hours?
It's a lot more, and it's a lot of talking. It's mostly talking.
it's just talking.
I'm gonna watch it. I think it's on Max.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, both of them are.
Then I think they might have, or no, it's on YouTube. It's like the '90s show, Children of Dune,
Oh yeah.
with James
Oh.
McAvoy.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, have you guys watched Prophecies yet?
No.
No,
Dune Prophecy, or
I heard
what
it's
was
not that good.
Is it not? Or,
Yeah, it
'cause
takes
it's-
place 1,000 years before Paul.
It's supposed to be with the witches or something like that.
Yeah,
how they like grasp power.
Yeah.
within the
like how
finance.
they've set everything into motion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't imagine that was going to be interesting.
I will give it a watch if I find the time to care. I have a buddy who's reading all the books.
If I get caught up on House of Dragons, then I'll watch it. But even then, I'm so behind on that as well too.
That's gonna be a trip for you because
Yeah.
whenever you say I'll try to watch something, it's like 6 months
I
later.
gotta finish this one show that I haven't watched yet.
I haven't
Right, like,
I haven't finished House of Dragons season 2.
yeah.
I got I just kind of
Nick, the
I watched
multitasker,
the
hasn't
first
finished House of
episode, but I
Dragons.
haven't gone back to
Huh?
it. I just watched the first episode of House of Dragons.
you know what
season
you
2.
know what it was? It was just disinterest.
Yeah.
I was just disinterested. Like because the worst part is I know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I don't.
But the way that the show's going about getting there is
Uh-huh.
freaking slow as hell.
Like you're just like let's
get to the
Come
point.
on, let's get to the war.
Okay, come on. Let's get
It's
to
not made for you guys.
let's
It's
get
made
to
for
the-
people that
Supposed
haven't
to
read the
die, and then the war starts. Come on.
yeah.
books. I don't have all time. Let's go. Come on, Andale, let's go.
Yeah, but
But
it,
thing.
and they're only changing things ever so slightly, and you're kind of like, okay, like let's speed this up. Let's speed it up. Come
Come
on.
at a time where Game of Thrones was exciting to watch.
Oh, you know what?
That
I
was
just
season,
remembered.
dude. That was season 3.
Yeah.
like season
Sean
3
should
of
have
Game
been
of
here.
Thrones.
He bought the hammer from the Lord of the Rings.
He did.
He did.
They're supposed to bring it in today,
Yeah,
Well, we'll tell him to bring it next week.
yeah.
and then
That thing was
bash him in the head with
huge.
it.
That thing was huge.
I think it's huge, and it came in a little box.
I know. I saw it. I was
You
expecting.
went to go get your drink, and he comes up to me. He's just like, "Should I
Bop, bop.
get it?" And I'm just like, "I don't know, dude." He's like, "If it's $30, if it's less than $30, I'll get it." And he looks up, and it's like $32.99. He's like,
I did it.
"I'm gonna get it," and I'm like, "Do it, dude. Follow your heart. You want to go get it?" I got his points too.
I mean, hey, good for you.
There you go.
But yeah, I can't imagine the way that Dune kind of rocked like the cinema with Venu's version. I can't imagine a Ridley
I kind of
Scott
wish
version.
that Dune came back to theaters so that I can watch the first one in IMAX. That's what I want. They need to do it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I was gonna say. Wait,
Nope.
We didn't see it in
No, we
theaters.
didn't see it in
Nope.
theaters.
COVID.
Yup, that was the thing. We lived
That
through that.
happened.
Yeah.
Let's
All
get to
right.
let's get to the good stuff though.
Malcolm in the Middle revival has been officially announced
So excited.
with Frankie Muniz, Jane, I can't pronounce her last name, McCormick, and Bryan Cranston making it official with an announcement. They're
Kaczmarek.
all Kaczmarek, thank you.
yeah.
They are all set to return. This will be developed for Disney Plus with no release date announced yet. 4 episodes were ordered following Malcolm and his daughter being called back to Malcolm's family's home to celebrate Hal and Lois's 40th wedding anniversary. Okay, so this morning
It's 4 episodes, right?
It's 4 episodes.
Four
That's
episodes.
honestly genius.
all you need.
Yeah.
Here's
I
the
would
thing.
love that.
Yes.
When I read the news this morning, it kind of like I didn't believe it.
No, it's because Bryan Cranston's always been loud about it. He's all like, "Oh yeah, I'm trying to get Tuck. Everyone coming back."
Yeah, I'm trying to do a reprisal.
Is the only one that's like hard right now because he's super busy. Then he got injured. And
Yes.
Then he got,
So I'm kind of like I was skeptical. I saw it on Twitter.
Yeah.
Then I saw it again like 10 minutes later. Then I saw it again like an hour later. And then it wasn't until Rotten Tomatoes released the montage of everyone going like Malcolm! And I'm like, oh, okay, this is real because Frankie Muniz is we're coming
I'm
back.
so excited because I really hope they just use the same intro music.
Oh yeah.
I want that.
No, they have to. They can't update that. You gotta
just use it. Like I want it, but I want it with updated.
Oh yeah.
With updated stuff from this season, and then or what you could do is you can then like kind of like cut it where it's like them growing up. Like them getting kids, them doing everything.
I just now realized they said something interesting. They said Malcolm's daughter.
Yes.
That's the first girl in the family.
Yes, it is.
And I want to see how.
No, Lois is gonna love.
No,
her.
but what was it? He has a daughter. Doesn't oh my God, Francis.
Oh,
Francis has a daughter.
No, I thought it was
does a boy. Does he have a boy?
I think it's a boy.
Oh no, I don't remember.
I can't remember it because I remember Francis getting.
He gets married. They have a kid.
They do have a kid, and I thought it was it a girl?
I
was
think
it a boy?
was a boy.
I want to say.
See, the challenging thing is how do we bring back Francis?
Is he in trouble?
No, his brother.
His brother is,
but you can bring him back then.
No, but he was part of the church, and not only that, but also he would. There's a lot of like controversy because he would hang out with his brother a lot. So like they were like the Diddy parties. He was also there when it was all about like them doing stuff with girls and everything like that. The guy who played Francis was there.
Easy. What you got to do is you just have to say I'm sorry.
They went back to Alaska. Like they're living.
In Alaska.
Kiyama wanted to go back to Alaska.
You think that's you don't think an apology would be like more than enough for the execs to be like, all right, you can come back?
You know what? He doesn't have anything immediately on him.
Yeah.
Or anything like that. I can see it.
Like as long as he denounces everything, I don't see a problem with
it.
Yeah. Well, it depends on who's not gonna be here. So there's a lot of.
I want Stevie
to come back. Oh, but he has tattoos, doesn't he?
Yeah, dude. You know how awesome that would be?
Tattooed.
He's on. Look up the dude who plays Stevie now. Yeah. Look him up. Just look up Malcolm in the Middle cast. I want to know what Stevie looks like now.
Yeah. So
and then I know that.
What about Reese?
He's
actor.
He's still an actor. He's like a background actor, isn't he?
I think he does more behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
That's what he does now.
It would be so, I was thinking about how they could move forward with this. I would love for Malcolm to still continue the fourth wall break, but for Malcolm and his daughter to kind of interact in the fourth wall.
No, because it's still Malcolm in the middle.
You think that his daughter won't?
I don't think that it would be there because I think the new middle is Malcolm in between his family and his other family. I'm stuck in the middle between how to parent my daughter and how my parents parented me.
Who does he marry? Who do you think?
Oh, no, look. That's what he looks like.
Dude, look at the gauges, though. Look at those gauges. Oh, my God, dude. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Dude, could you imagine Stevie coming out with these big old, like, gauges in his ears? And he's just like, oh, hey, what's up, man? I pierced my ears.
I stretched my ears.
It hurt. Stevie, don't get excited.
You.
I want Stevie to have a kid.
Yeah. This is my son.
It's so great. Yeah. It writes. I feel like it writes itself. I feel like Malcolm in the
Do
Middle.
you think Reese would be like a business owner or something like that?
You know
like
what?
A smart business owner.
It ended with him being a janitor. So how do you go?
No, Malcolm ended up being
no, he ended up being a janitor to work off his student loans.
Yes.
At Harvard.
But he was going to Harvard.
Yes.
So I can see Malcolm being a professor. He's either teaching or he's in politics.
He's not talking to Lois because he didn't become president. He wanted to do something else, and Lois hasn't talked to him since.
What about if Malcolm just started doing racing? if they use his actual like thing.
Like
He got into cars. Like he builds cars now.
He's an engineer for
Like he ended up becoming like an engineer or something
and
like
that's
that.
why, and that's because I feel like they're gonna have something where Malcolm doesn't talk to his parents, and I have a feeling it's because Lois is disappointed in him.
Yeah,
because he did something else.
He didn't do the plan that she had it
at
out
the
for
at the
him.
end of the show.
Yeah.
I think I would love it if Reese is the most successful.
Yeah.
or Dewey.
I want Reese to be the most successful, and I want him to either like own his own business.
It's like the last picture of him.
Here's the thing. I would love Dewey to have created an invention that made him a lot of money and doesn't do anything.
No, I would love that. I would love the idea of Dewey made an app.
Yeah, and then he just lives off like
Dewey
the
invented an
residuals.
app. Dewey he invented an app.
Malcolm in the Middle.
What?
Emma Stone was in Malcolm in the
As
Middle.
who?
She played one of the bullies, or one of the girls that.
Oh
did
my
a practical
God,
joke
you're
on
right.
Reese, yeah, and Lois was getting back at them.
That's
That's
right.
a good episode,
That's
man.
right.
That was a good episode.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Cloris Leachman. She need. Oh wait, no. Cloris Leachman's character died, didn't she?
No,
Their grandmother dies. Yeah.
No,
She didn't die in the show.
She didn't die in the show. Remember, she helps Reese come up with the big mess.
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Technically, she's. Still
I
alive.
would love it if Cloris Leachman comes back.
Didn't
That'd be
Malcolm
amazing.
in the Middle have this running gag of Dewey's hamster running away, and
Yes.
every couple of episodes it would come back?
It would just
You'll
keep
see-
rolling.
yeah. You see it like when whoever's doing something. They did it for the first 2 seasons, and they let it.
Yeah.
go.
And
No,
that-
he gets it back, doesn't
he
he?
eventually finds it. He eventually gets it
Yeah,
back.
he gets it. Yeah,
But
it's
but
like
I
a
do,
random episode.
but it was a running gag.
Yeah.
Of like there would just be random things going on and like they're all like the chaos and everything else, and then like you just see a hamster ball rolling in the background.
I think it's good to see him come back. I'm excited for it.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see where the boys are. I'm excited
Yeah.
to see.
I'm really excited to see what this story's going to turn out to be.
I'm also excited to see who they cast as Malcolm's daughter.
Oh, yeah.
And how old they make her? Because do they make her super super young? Do you give them a teenage daughter?
18 years since the show ended.
Well, I think if that's the case, make her a teenager. Because I think that would be interesting.
Yeah,
if-
make him Malcolm's age.
No, but I think what was it? I think it'd be interesting if you made it that's the reason why Lois stopped talking to him. He got a girl pregnant in Harvard.
Oh.
And like he had to drop out. Like he's still successful and he's
Yeah.
taking care of his kid,
not
but
in the eyes of how Lois.
Not how Lois wanted.
he didn't
Would the kid be
graduate.
super smart?
And the kid would be
Oh,
super
yeah,
smart.
The kid would be super smart,
Yeah.
and then that's when she starts her new plan.
Yeah, of like trying to like do everything. I think that would be interesting. I like
that's
that.
a good 4-episode arc. Of
I
Lois
like the
kinda
fact-
like, you gotta
Manipulating
let go.
everything.
I do like that it's 4 episodes and that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
I think that's all you
we
need. I think that's all you need.
Do you do what the Gilmore Girls did and do like how? Because not like
A couple of reprisals, like you do like 4 episodes here, 5 episodes here.
Because Gilmore Girls did seasons. So they did an episode for every season of the year, but not similar to that. What I'm saying is like just do like a time lapse in between every episode.
I mean, you could. I feel like this one, as a contained story of 4 episodes of,
They go back to the house.
they go back to the house. It's a lot of like remembering a lot of, a lot of stories that his daughter may not have ever heard.
Yeah.
That Reese and
secrets they all had.
Yeah.
certain secret. I think that would be so funny if they reopen up like an old box and they all still have the key.
Yeah.
Wait, what if Hal goes up to his granddaughter and is like, "Oh, has your dad given you the sex talk yet?" And he proceeds to give her the sex talk the same way they did with the kids.
I think it would be even funnier if she was like, I've been telling my dad to teach me how to rollerblade, but he won't teach me.
Yes! That's so great, dude.
Because
Malcolm just like, what have you done?
I told you not to bring that up. And then you just see Hal, and he's like, "Oh,
Once you go down,
I can
this
teach
road.
you. Once you go down this road,
Yeah.
there's no going back."
Oh my god! And we get to see him in the sequence again.
Yeah,
Oh my God, yes.
I feel like for me, I don't know why, but as I was growing up, that was my show.
No,
like
same.
as a
I think
kid,
that was like a
that was
lot
my
of people's shows.
that was my show.
Like, if you didn't watch it, people would talk about it, and then I would end up watching it on Channel 13.
I thought it was super weird though, because I guess I think it's just because Monica, grew up in a primarily Spanish speaking home. I brought up Malcolm in the Middle, and then she was like, "I didn't really watch it when I was a kid," And I go, man, how did you not watch it when you were a kid? And I put it on, and I think like everything is just kind of too noisy for her, and it's too chaotic. So it gives her a lot of anxiety, where she's just like, this show gives me so much anxiety.
Well, because it
kind of triggers her, because there's like so much screaming, and there's so much like,
especially in the first season,
when they're little. She's not a huge fan of it.
Like the scene, like the episode where Malcolm convinces the mom not to go to the aunt funeral, so everyone just does whatever they want now.
See, because what I kind of want is the family reunion. Like the family reunion episode where Piyama and all the boys go, and then Hal's family hates Lois, and then they end up like humiliating her, and then the boys just destroy everything. Because that would be hilarious.
Well, we got time to rewatch the whole series.
You can have Christopher Lloyd come back, because that's Hal's dad.
No, but his dad died in the show.
Did his dad die in the show?
Yeah, remember that was Hal's grieving episode when he was trying to buy. Well, he was gonna buy Reese a car.
It's later on in the series, huh?
Does the Admiral die in the boot camp? Francis is
No, he leaves him at a retirement home to watch elderly people. He finds him a new job.
Oh yeah, he finds him a new job after he gets fired.
Yeah.
Is he still alive?
The actor?
Yeah.
I don't know if the actor is.
Do you remember what his name was?
Well, his name was Commandant Spangler. Oh, here he is.
Let's see if he's.
No, he died. 2015.
Wow.
Dude, Gary Anthony Williams.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He's super thin now, dude.
Oh yeah.
What was his
That was Stevie's dad.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stevie's dad. That's how I know him.
Oh, Richie.
Dude, Richie.
You can bring back Richie.
I want them to bring back
Richie. You can't
Richie.
bring him back if Francis is not on the show.
True, and I think it'd be really
because they wrote in Richie where he's just like a
he's kind of a he's
like
kind
a,
of
the
the
scum of the earth kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
he's just there.
You know what would be really funny if I want Richie to be selling meth. I want him. No, I want him to be
give him his own pot shop and make it
no.
successful.
What I want him to be the person that is like. So I started a new business where I'm making crystal with this
He
this
sells
guy.
weed, but he doesn't realize that the weed he's selling is laced with illegal stuff.
They're gonna bring back Herkabee.
They have to.
Malcolm's teacher, that one dude that it was like, he's like, oh, I used to be smart, and then you came along and just resented Malcolm.
Yeah.
For the
Oh,
rest of
yeah.
But
they have to bring him back.
I think Richie would be a perfect way to go like that. Hal was it? So that way they can have a callback to Breaking Bad.
Yeah. So I think what's gonna happen? 4 episodes, each episode's gonna have a callback character.
Callback character.
Yeah.
I think it would be interesting too if 4 episodes is one of the boys.
Oh.
You have a Stewie episode of like this is what he's been up to. You have a
Dewey episode.
you have a Dewey episode. You have a Francis episode or a Reese episode.
And a Malcolm.
A Malcolm, and then you have Lois and Hal.
In
Because
each
it could be each episode is why each boy hasn't talked to mom and dad.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Why they're so distant? Like what exactly did Hal and them do?
She's the girl that both boys had a crush on, right?
This is the one that made out with Malcolm.
Yeah.
Yes.
In which also I would love it if that's Malcolm's wife.
What happens to her at the end of the series?
Nothing. She just kind of.
She just disappears after when he goes to high school.
Yeah, just when he goes to high school, she kind of gets like shuffled in the mix.
But
What if
her
she
and
ends
Malcolm.
up with Reese?
No, because she was never in love with Reese. She was
But
always in love with Malcolm.
You flip it.
I know, but I think it would be interesting because Malcolm was always into her, and then you have it where when he went to Harvard, they reconnected.
Or he goes back into town and then they reconnect on the
Yeah.
show. Yeah.
Oh, it could be.
Yeah.
All right.
There's a lot of really cool stuff. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I think it's
There's a lot of
awesome.
possibilities.
Yeah, I that's the greatest thing about Malcolm in the Middle is because like look at one of my favorite episodes is the episode after they go to the water park.
Oh,
And they're stuck in traffic.
Yeah, the traffic jam. Yeah, that
I
was a
love
good
the
one.
traffic jam episode.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. And
It's so much fun.
And it's one of those few episodes that's a continuation episode.
Yeah.
Where you had an episode at the water park and then the next episode is them stuck on the freeway.
Yeah, it's a completely different story, but it's like it does, but it still connects. That's the
Yeah, because they're still dealing with whatever happened at the water park.
We're only in the traffic jam because we got kicked out of the water park and stuff like that. So now we have to head home early and stuff.
Yeah, but also Hal couldn't find his keys or something like that.
Yeah.
So he was late, and then the driver that cut him off is the one that gets hit by the semi and dies. So Hal then is like having he's having like this like inner monologue of going like I could have died, like I could have killed my entire family.
Reese tries to get the ice cream from the ice cream man.
Yeah.
Malcolm meets a girl and has a crush on her at the end.
Oh, because they're all out. Now I remember.
And they all have different like
and
stories.
Dewey's at home, but Dewey's not at home anymore. He's traveling because he
got left at home, right?
He got left at home.
He got
but
left
the
at home with
babysitter died. Babysitter died.
Yes.
And then he chased the ball. Oh no, he chased the balloon and the balloon popped and he didn't know where he was.
And then now he's trying to get home, and then by the time he makes it home is when everybody else gets home, so they don't know that
he was gone.
that he was gone, and then he's just sitting on the couch.
It's like a weird C plot.
Yeah, it's a weird C plot, but it's also
well.
That was the one thing that was great about Malcolm in the Middle. They used to have like weird C. They used to have an A, a B, and a C, and the C was always super weird.
Yeah,
and you were like, "This is great."
It was always a Dewey story.
Yeah,
Dewey stories were
always
always
the
really weird.
C stories because there was this
when he was
also,
younger.
Yeah, because when he was younger, they did a one where like you see Dewey just walking around the house and he's just like grabbing stuff.
Yeah,
and he's grabbing stuff.
Oh, to sell, right?
No, he's building something in the garage, and come to find out, he wanted to tell his parents he wanted a piano.
So he built himself a piano.
He built himself a piano.
There we go.
Like
That's what it is. Dewey is an accomplished pianist.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's right.
Because he was a savant when it came to instruments.
Mm-hmm.
Any instrument he would always pick it up and immediately know how to play it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Malcolm in the Middle is a better Seinfeld.
It is.
It is.
You know what? I tried to watch Seinfeld again. I can't get through it.
It's a show. I started watching Malcolm in the Middle again, dude. I stopped doing whatever I was doing and I focused straight in. I was like, I was supposed to put it on.
Yeah, we always put on Malcolm in the Middle, and we're just like, let's just watch the episode where Malcolm, Reese, and Dewey are trying to vandalize a billboard.
Yeah,
and then they get stuck on there, and then we watch that episode, and then we're just watching the rest after that.
Yeah. What was it? Because I showed Monica the clip of Hal when Lois tells him to fix the light bulb. And it's just quintessential ADHD, where Hal walks inside, he pulls the thing, and he's like, "Oh man!" He goes to go change the light bulb. Then he goes inside, he grabs the bulbs, and then he sees that the drawer fell, and he's like, and then he goes over and then he pulls out the screwdriver out of the drawer, and the drawer squeaks, and he's like,
So your life story.
Then he goes to go get the W40 from the garage, and then he's like realizes that he's out. So then he gets in the car, and the car makes noise.
Modern Family did an episode like that.
Yeah. Modern Family always is good. It always kind of tried to be Malcolm in the Middle.
No, because I feel like Malcolm in the Middle, if there are parallels, it's Malcolm in the Middle and Seinfeld. And I get people would be like, well, Seinfeld was a show about nothing, and Malcolm in the Middle was a family show.
Did they ever explain why they talked to the camera on Modern Family?
No.
Mm-mm. Oh, because it's just supposed to be like a documentary.
But they never got to see.
They never like talked about it or did it. Speaking of which, I've finished catching up on Abbott Elementary,
and
it's good. But they actively talk about the camera crew.
Yes, they do.
I love it. And I love it. Like I love when what was it? Another camera crew comes in, and they got confused.
You're not talking to that camera. It's that camera. Oh.
But no, because it was somebody shooting a blast ad for Abbott Elementary, and then they were inside filming, and they were like, "Oh, you didn't notice the cameras?" And they were like, "I thought it was one of those guys." And then they're like, "All the cameras, get out!" And then you even see the camera that like always shoots them starts walking away, and she goes, "No, not you. You stay."
So it's so funny because like Andy's like trying to watch it because it's so good.
It's so
but
good.
there's two things that make me laugh about it. It's the not trying so hard with the racist jokes because they land so well.
Yes.
And they're not racist. Like the Black Panther joke. It was like, oh, you're
just
a
for a
Black
day.
Panther.
Just for a day.
Just for a day. Just for a day.
Why don't we keep the mask on? Why don't we keep the mask on?
It's a white kid.
Or
one white kid.
Or what was it like when she goes like, what's sliding? I don't understand what that is. And he goes, oh, so it's when you get that and then you move your feet like this. And she goes, I am not going to let a white man teach me how to dance.
I like when it's like a recent episode. It's when the principal is walking out the school.
Oh,
and sees
yeah.
a little white kid sitting there on the bench. He goes, Oh, no. I saw a ghost, everyone. Like, look, I saw a ghost.
It's the kid that's in school and he just got into the school.
No,
And then the parents are there, and they're like, oh, yeah, we're here to, for Abbott Elementary. She goes, I'm going to get my proton pack. No.
The one that was also really funny was the Dare one. Have you seen the new drug one where the girl's answering questions and then they were like, what about this drug? And it's like, oh, well, I mean, some drugs are better than others, so it's okay if I smoke weed but not meth. Yeah, it's like, what? Are you on drugs? Like,
it's the one that got me the most is what's his name, Terrell or whatever.
The dude who always sings.
Yeah,
Terrell Jr.
No,
when he has
the ex of
yeah, that's Terrell.
Okay, so it's when I forget his name. Everybody Hates Chris, that guy. He's about to fight the dad.
Oh
yeah, and
he gives him the juice. He's like, it's a mixture of 8 different Capri Suns. I don't know the flavors.
I don't want it. He goes, why you let me in, man?
So now that because the greatest thing is that the next episode is the Always Sunny episode.
No.
Yes, it is. It's episode 9, and January 8th. That's the next episode.
Oh my god, I can't wait.
That's the next. So because I got all the way to episode 8, and I was like, wait, episode 8. That means the next one's Always Sunny, and I don't know how you do it.
I don't know. I do.
I legitimately now that I've like watched the show and gone through it, I'm really excited. Mm-hmm. I know that obviously Terrell has to interact with them, with Dee and everybody else. Mm-hmm. I don't know how, because everything always stays in the school.
Yes.
So I don't know how they get to Patty's Pub.
They're the premise is that they go on break. They like take a little bit of like a break off on a weekend.
Because I also think, because what I originally thought, because they had mentioned gentrification when they were doing the deli.
Yeah.
So I thought that they were going to be like going like store to store and then trying to like raise awareness about gentrification in the area, because that's also been a big thing in this season of like they built the golf course and now they're building a coffee shop and now there's a smoothie bar and everything else. So that's what I thought.
So what I want, Andy has already told me, she's like, don't heighten your expectations. I'm like, why not, woman? I want to be excited for this.
Yeah, let me be happy.
Let me be happy.
That is the next episode, though. It's the next episode.
Happy. But what I'm thinking is, and I think we've talked about it before, it's going to be Charlie acknowledging the cameras 100% of the time.
Well, they all acknowledge the camera.
They do, but it's him being starstruck over the fact that camoras are on him.
Okay,
or no. It's not Charlie. What's his name? D, her brother.
Oh,
you know what? That guy.
I know.
He's gonna be the one that's starstruck by cameras.
I thought it would be Mac. Like Mac, just like.
It could be him and Mac.
Like just like consistently, just like.
Yeah. And then Charlie and Danny DeVito's character.
I feel like what they'll
do with the janitor.
No, I feel like yes, they're gonna be with the janitor, but I feel like Danny DeVito and Charlie's characters, Charlie are going to try and get their own spinoff.
Yeah.
And like
come down to Patty's Pub,
like trying to get like a crew to follow them around, and like trying to show how awesome their lives are.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%. And I can picture that when the Abbott Elementary crew go to Patty's Pub for their crossover episode, it's gonna be like, well, we don't have to be so uptight because we're not on camera anymore, so we can finally like cuss, and they're gonna get.
I think that would be hilarious.
Yeah.
I can't wait
because there's no cameras.
I want to see the hyper Christian like teacher.
Oh yeah.
Just to have to deal with Dee and Dennis. Oh, it's Dennis.
Dennis. There you go. Yeah.
Like Dee, Dennis, and Frank.
Frank is Danny DeVito. Yeah.
Because I think Frank just keep on trying to hit on her would be hilarious.
Frank hits on the principal.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that. And then she finds out that Frank is a millionaire.
Yes.
That he's funny. Super rich, and then she's like, "Oh, well, you know." But
I want Dennis to be like looking at the camera. And, like,
that's what I was saying right now. Like
Dennis
you just
Mac.
Like
is Mac. Is he in the current seasons of Always Sunny?
He's buff. He's
buff. But is he gay or is he not? Because there was a moment in Always Sunny
when he was gay.
Yeah, where he thought he was gay because he couldn't run.
I think it would be funny if like they have that that interaction with him and the English teacher.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the other white dude.
Just like a moment.
Yeah, like a moment where he's just like where he kind of like wants to like touch him and he's like, I'm not gay anymore. It's fine.
I don't do that anymore.
Yeah, I don't do that anymore. I'm not gay. I'm not gay anymore. But yeah, I'm excited for Malcolm in the
Yeah, we
Middle.
went from Malcolm to Abbott Elementary.
No, but it makes
Watch
sense.
Abbott Elementary. It's
That
a good
makes
show.
sense.
It's a
Yeah,
good
it
show.
is.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for Malcolm. It's one of my favorite shows.
Yeah. We'll see what
Go
happens.
go. Is it on Netflix right now? Is it on
Malcolm?
Netflix?
No, it's on
No, it's
Hulu.
Hulu.
It's on Hulu.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta.
I will say, just the last thought on Abbott Elementary. Quentin Brunson is super talented. Great on her. Will never win an Emmy, which is so sad.
For which one?
Quentin Brunson is the producer, developer of Abbott Elementary.
Oh, okay.
She has had her show nominated, I think, 2 or 3 times, but is always up against like The Bear
Yeah.
or
Isn't
Only
that
Murders.
that's always like that's so hard.
No, like I look at the
Like-
list of like those like best comedy,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, there's no way. There's absolute like the show is so good.
You know what? I have to admit though, there is a lot of times like yes, Only Murders in the Building is hilarious.
Yeah.
But there is times where I have to pause Abbott Elementary because I'm laughing too hard.
Yeah,
and,
and you
I'm starting to
no,
miss
but
jokes.
Only Murders didn't even win an Emmy. I forget who it was up against this last season, but it didn't win.
Well, I mean, because it's been more like thriller than
Yeah.
it has actually been comedy.
A comedy, yeah. But give Abbott Elementary a try. Let's burn through these ones so we can talk about the other main topics that we have. Jennifer Love Hewitt is set to return for the I Know What You Did Last Summer film, releasing July 18th of 2025.
That was a producer who goes, remember Scream?
Yeah.
We could do that.
We could do that,
yeah.
but better.
We have.
Yeah, I was gonna say like, oh yeah, what final girl hasn't been re-featured in a movie yet?
Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Jennifer Love Hewitt.
There
I
you
guess
go.
she was willing to do it.
There you
Jennifer
go.
Love Hewitt was like, man, that money's starting to run low. Like I need
Can you scroll down one more a little bit?
Anne Hathaway. Oh my God, there's still up.
This is just these two. Anne Hathaway and Dave Bautista are set to star in an untitled action comedy. It'll follow the story of a real-life FBI sting where agents posed as a couple to infiltrate global criminal enterprises, which all culminated at a staged wedding in New Jersey. I'm just happy to see Dave Bautista in more films.
I'm wondering if that's why Dave Bautista lost all that weight.
Could be.
Because he did say that he took a new role where he needed to lose a lot of weight.
Yeah.
That's why he's so thin now.
Okay. I mean, he looks healthier.
He does. I mean, he said it was just hard in his older age to maintain.
Yeah, and that makes sense. No more roids,
Yeah.
Last but not least, some quick WWE news. Paul Heyman, interviewed by CBS Sports, has said in an interview that if you cannot give Cody Rhodes his flowers right now, then you are not paying attention. Quote, I'm going to try to read this from this distance. That man has worked so hard, so tirelessly, and so magnificently, and has hit it out of the park consistently. 52 weeks of the year and has never struck out. Not once have I seen a bad performance from Cody Rhodes. Not once have I seen him lackluster. Not once have I seen his rest on his laurels. If you can't give that man his flowers right now, you're not paying attention. And this is coming from the man that is always under the tribal chief, Roman Reigns.
I have to agree. When Cody Rhodes is always on. When he's in front of the camera, when he's in front of an audience, he is a great performer. No matter what, he is a great performer, and he's a great performer and an even better athlete. Like he's awesome. He's great at what he does, and
I think what makes him so interesting too is that he's not an overly buff dude.
No.
He's just fit and athletic. And
he's quick too.
He's very fast, and he's not this like because John Cena had to like put on. As soon as he became champion, he got bigger. You can tell he got bigger and bigger, and then same thing with The Rock. The Rock, once he became champion, he got bigger himself. Batista did that. Batista did that when he became.
That's when all of them started really getting into roids.
The biggest complaint I have about wrestling fans right now is that they're not giving Cody Rhodes the credit that he deserves. And granted, if you don't need to like him. If you want to just not like him, that's fine. I didn't like Roman Reigns for the first or for the first 2 years.
Yeah.
Because he just kind of was there as Universal Champion. He had titles and defended them once every couple of months.
But you understood why he was there.
Exactly.
You understood why, because he put butts in seats.
Yes. And then towards the end of it is like, you had to praise him because he was that villain that you hated, and that's what got you into the show.
He was the reason why the company was making money.
Exactly.
Cody Rhodes is the same thing.
Yeah.
You have to realize that he's bringing in money. He's bringing in new and old viewers as well too. You know? You have to just understand that.
Cody Rhodes is the opposite of Roman Reigns, and they're both bringing the company up in their own ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's no hate, and I like the fact Paul Heyman, when he talks, is like
He's a completely different person. He's
Basically,
like,
yeah.
He's super. You can tell he's very focusing, and he's very, very smart.
Eloquent with his words is
Yes,
one word to say.
well,
Very eloquent.
I mean, I feel like that's all of Dusty's kids, though.
Yeah.
Like, all of Dusty's kids, like, Roman Reigns wasn't one of Dusty's kids, but I mean, Seth Rollins.
Oh,
you
yeah,
have
the people he's trained.
like, all the people that Dusty Rhodes trained and that are now all either, you know, on the top of the cards or, you know, champion holders or, you know, they're all over the place.
Yeah.
And you can really see how much the Rhodes family has really influenced WWE now.
Yeah, 100%. But that wraps up comic strips for this issue. Let's move on to the video game awards that are.
I was there.
Yeah, you were there. That our fabulous little Nicholas.
Yeah,
went to.
I was there during the show.
You
If
didn't
you
do what
saw
I asked you to do.
No, I'm not gonna bum rush the stage, dude.
No, you have to, dude. Jeff Kingsley deserves.
One of my
it.
students told me the same thing.
Well,
they were like, "Oh, did you?"
Because he's mad.
He
We're all
literally
mad.
one of my students is like, "Did you meet Snoop Dogg?" And I was like, "No, what? Why?" I was like, "How would I have met Snoop Dogg?" And he was like, "Well, he was on the stage."
Yeah.
I was like, "No." He goes, "Well, you could
saw
just
it.
walk. Why didn't you just walk up on stage and just go shake his hand?" And I go,
Why do people think it's so easy? to
"Like
do
what?
something
Because
like
it
that?
is."
Because they're kids. They think they can do
Well,
anything.
not only that, but also that guy did walk up on stage and
a year ago.
like a year or two ago,
Yeah.
and just he was on camera, and everybody was like, "Who is this guy?" And he even got time on the mic. It was fun. I was sitting right next to the Muppets.
Oh, were you really?
That was literally where I was sitting. Like, you can see the Muppets from where I am.
The jokes that dude, I want them back next year.
I would see the Muppets walking in. So they would have like a black cover over it.
Yeah.
Because when we sat down, there's like a big
Don't
black
expose
box.
the magic. Don't expose the magic.
So there was a big black.
They're not real.
They're real.
So there was a
I
big
still
black.
believe.
There was a big black box that was right next to the pre-show like stage, and we didn't know what it was. We thought it was a camera. Like we thought like there was cameras inside of it, and we were like, hey, man, this thing is taking up a lot of room. Why is this here? And then out of nowhere, you just see two people walk in, and there's like a black sheet over these things in their hands, and I'm like, what the heck? Like, what is in there? And right when the show started, you see the Muppets pop out, and you see Waldorf and Statler, and I'm like, that's hilarious. That is so funny. Because I actually didn't know Jeff Keighley is a huge Muppets fan.
Good for him.
He's a hardcore Muppets fan. Also, some of their jokes were so good.
My favorite one is.
Do you know that Jeff Keighley and Kojima are friends?
Yeah.
Do you think Kojima knows that?
And I don't know if you saw that part,
I saw
but
that,
the face that Kojima made was just like, it's literally like I don't know what they're talking about.
The greatest thing is that because we were in there, we saw Jeff Keighley and you could see him dying.
Oh, was he really?
You could see him dying laughing. Like he's like up on stage and you can see him like this when the Muppets are like on stage doing their thing.
Yeah.
And you can kind of see him like chuckling and trying to keep a straight face.
Yeah.
And it's so great because he was having a great time. Everybody else in the room was having a great time.
You know who wasn't having a great time? Me.
Why?
I'm gonna start with the positive.
What's wrong with the?
I'm gonna start with the positive.
Okay.
I like the video game
Mind you, we're
awards.
on an hour 17. I just want.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we only got a couple minutes left.
So we'll keep it short.
Yeah.
I like what Jeff Keighley is doing in terms of recognizing the industry. I like the fact that they gave an award to one of the guys that basically is helping spread job awareness for video game developers for people that have lost and been laid off of the industry. That's what you need. The industry is laying off hundreds of thousands of people on a yearly basis.
Well, I feel like Jeff Keighley is doing a great job on making everything aware, speaking out when it comes to how disenfranchised a lot of video game workers are. Not only that, but also allowing people on stage to speak their mind without cutting them off.
Yeah, 100%.
Because like Larian Games, the CEO of Larian Games, when he goes up there and he goes, the key to making a game of the year is not profit margins and it's not a boardroom. It's artists and it's people in love with the thing that they're telling, with the story that they're trying to tell and trying to do it in a new way that nobody's seen.
Yeah.
And when you see that, that's when you get a game of the year.
Yes. So
And that was really crazy of going like, wow, like this is an announcement that you're making in front of 100 million people right
Larian
now.
Games is the same developers that made Astrobots.
No.
Or who's Larian Games?
Baldur's Gate 3.
They weren't in this one, were they?
Baldur's Gate 3 was in. They did get a couple of awards. They were announcing for Game of the Year because because they won Game of the Year last year. So the way that they do it is whoever won Game of the Year last year comes back, and then they give the award to the next person.
Gotcha.
It's kind of like a passing of the torch, which is very cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. There is a lot of good in the video game awards.
Harrison Ford was there.
Yeah, and did you meet Harrison Ford?
I wish. I just want him to call me kid once.
Shut up,
once,
kid.
if you can tell me kid. Even if he was like, get this kid out of my face. I would have been like, oh, I came. And then he's going to be like, oh, restraining order on that kid.
There you have Harrison Ford's
autograph.
There you go.
It was a long way to go. I had to go through court to get it, but I have his
There you
autograph.
go. You got it.
I'm going to sell his restraining order.
There's a lot of good from the video game awards. My biggest complaint out of everything is that this one felt like a massive propaganda for Sony. And I get it. Like they need to make their money. They're they need to get sponsorships and stuff like that. But it felt like every other commercial was a Sony product. They advertised the sales, they advertised the pass, they advertised the exclusivity of PlayStation games.
Okay, but now here's my question. Is that a problem, or is that Sony just using their money correctly?
That's
and advertising.
That's kind of both.
Because as an advertiser, I need money in order to put this show on. I need advertisers.
And that's why I'm saying it's both.
PlayStation went out and they went, we're going to advertise during the Game Awards. Yeah. Xbox didn't. And they didn't promote Game Pass. They didn't promote anything else.
There was a couple promotions for Game Pass.
I know, but there was no specific promotions for Game Pass. The only thing that they really had was the whole this is an Xbox and showing off that anything can really be an Xbox.
But again, it's both. Like it's a problem that could be overseen, and it's perfectly fine if you have a PlayStation. But to me, the morals of what Jeff is saying in terms of gaming should be for everyone, gaming shouldn't be exclusive, all these different things. The biggest company that's advertising it is one of the biggest companies that is very hypocritical on that. Yes. Almost a decade ago, they were saying that, Microsoft was holding off with their DRMs and stuff like that by not allowing you to share physical games. But now you have Sony who says, we have so many games on the PlayStation, we're not really going to share them. So we're going to be very hesitant about putting them on other platforms. But Helldivers 2 is on PlayStation.
I know.
They're not willing to go to Xbox. Then you have Black Myth Wukong, same thing, not on Xbox.
But my thing is that of the three companies that are technically four, of the four companies that are primarily making video games and consoles and releasing them to the public, where it be, let's say Steam, PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo. Nintendo isn't going to advertise at all.
Nothing.
Nintendo will probably have a couple of ads. That's about it. If you notice, all the games that they announced, none of them were Nintendo games. No,
because they have their own market.
Because they have their own market and they have their own direct.
Yeah.
So Nintendo not going to market with us. PlayStation is so now I have PlayStation and Xbox, which I can't be outwardly going for PlayStation and I can't be outwardly going for Xbox. So I have to give them both same amount of screen time, in which they did. From where I was and everything like that, they got the same amount of screen time. And I can't say, oh yeah, because they're doing that, we have to then exclude them from the Game Awards and say they can't advertise or we shouldn't show their games off. Because they are such a big market in the gaming world, we have to show them off. And all we have to do is then talk out and say, gaming studios should do this. Gaming platforms should do this. And because they're not that company, they, whatever that big company wants to do, that's their choices. It's the consumers that buy it.
Yeah, no.
So if you really don't like what PlayStation is doing with their company, and you really don't like the way that they treat the assets that they own or the employees that they have, then don't buy it.
Yeah.
Don't give them money.
And that's 100% true. The problem is that gaming society, the gaming community,
well, that's on them.
They're not smart sometimes.
I know, but that's on
them.
That's on them.
On them.
We can't spoon feed them,
No,
and we
of course
can't
not.
keep things away from them. I have to give you both sides of the argument, and unfortunately, one is worse than the other, subjectively. But
Yeah.
and that's it.
And I will say that to me, it's kind of like, because I was seeing the comments when they announced Game of the Year, and it turned out to be Astrobots.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that that's a bad choice to have been voted on. Again, this is public decision, public
Chose
votes.
this.
Yes, for Astrobots to be it. I've seen gameplay of
Which
it.
I thought was funny because immediately Sean was just like, "Well, we don't know how much of the vote they got. Like, it could have been."
He wanted Black Myth to win.
Well, he really wanted Black Myth.
Yeah.
And my thing for Black Myth is that I feel don't make a game look open world, and then put invisible walls.
Yeah, and there's different complaints for it.
They made a very linear game, but it looks open world,
When
and
it's
then it's not. And then
Yeah.
you try to like, oh, I want to go see what's over there, and then you hit an invisible wall, and
Or
I'm like,
a cliffside or something.
yeah, or a cliffside, and you're like, okay, so
Yeah.
why make this look like it's open world?
To me, it was the comment section going like L, 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 and I'm just like, can't you all just be? I mean, the video game awards. The honest truth is this: I still have this opinion. They don't mean anything. As much as people want them to mean something, they don't, because at the end of the day, the studios that win awards could potentially still be shut down. My biggest one is Tango Studios for Hi-Fi Rush. Won so many awards.
I don't know. Do the People's Choice Awards matter?
They don't.
For movies?
No, they don't.
Or for TV?
No.
Does any? Because they're kind
but
of the
I've
same
seen
thing.
the video game awards being compared to something like the Golden Globes or the Oscars,
but
and I'm like, it's technically
it's
not.
the People's Choice Awards.
Yeah,
that's essentially
what it is.
It's
Yeah,
the people-
until we can get away from that and we can
Yeah.
get some security in terms of the studios that develop these games, then I can start seeing it more as a legitimate award show.
Listen, the only thing different from this and the Nickelodeon one is nobody gets slimed in this one. That's about it.
And instead of a blimp, they get an angel
Yeah,
statue.
that's the only difference.
On a final note, okay, 2 notes actually. Jeff needs to stop trolling. You don't make an announcement where you say one of the greatest celebrated RPGs of all time.
Stop. Get over
is
it.
making. I'm not
No,
because
get
you
over
don't
it.
say that crap.
Why?
And then you advertise Tekken characters.
Why?
It's garbage.
That's
it's
not-
dumb. And then you say like, "Oh,
That's
great
the
gaming announcement. Okami
That's the
sequel.
copy.
Oh,
Hold on.
like we didn't know.
Hold on.
Oh my
hold
God,
on.
it's
Hold
dumb.
on. Hold on. First off,
No.
no. Just because Square doesn't know how to get their stuff together and make a game,
Yeah, I know. I'm mad at Square.
it's Square's fault.
Yeah, I know.
Get mad at them that they just.
I've
go
been mad at
make-
them since 2008.
We need an idea for a game this year. I don't know what to do. Let's just redo Final Fantasy for the 12th time. Let's rebirth it again. Then we'll do another rebirth. No, but now it's the remastered rebirth of the remix. Shut up.
Then it's the anniversary.
Then it's the anniversary edition. when Square actually makes a brand new game, it sucks because they put all their actual
I
good
don't care
designers.
about Final Fantasy. I just want Kingdom Hearts 4.
But they're-
I
and-
wanted Kingdom Hearts 4. I wanted Mass Effect, or
Which
I
is
wanted BioShock.
You're not, and you weren't going to get any of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. He kept saying that, and I'm just like,
You weren't going to get as much
Let
as
me
I
believe.
wanted Mass Effect as well, and I was like, I'm really hoping that we
that
get Mass
Naughty
Effect.
Dog game. You know why
It
I
looks
didn't
sick.
care? It
It
looks
looks
sick,
really sick,
but you
yeah.
know what I thought of? Garbage. As soon as it was announced, I don't care because it looked like Mass Effect, and then they rug pulled me, dude.
That game gets released and HBO was like, "Oh, we're gonna do a show."
I wouldn't be surprised. Naughty Dog, depending on how well it does, but it looks really good. No, I 100% think that they didn't really do a whole lot of trolling. I mean, the copy is whatever the copy
Oh,
is.
shut up.
Jeff
They didn't
Keighley's
do
reading.
a lot of trolling.
He's,
Jeff trolls. He knows what he does.
So
Don't be like, he's not a troll. Yeah, he is.
so what?
I'm
That's
mad.
that's gaming.
I
Sorry,
know it is.
get over
I know it is.
Get over
I
it.
know
That's
it is.
gaming.
I better not see him out on the streets.
What are you gonna do? Suck
Punch
him?
him.
You gonna suck him off?
No, I'm gonna punch his guts, dude.
What about if he goes like,
I'll be like, this is for every troll you ever done on Twitter.
yeah, and then,
Punch
he,
him in the guts, dude.
and then he goes like, I'm willing to give you a job. Get on your knees.
I'll take the job, but I won't get on my knees.
Yeah, you will. You get on your
No.
knees. Yeah, you will.
Last shout out, Luca Designs.
Yeah, Luca
His
Designs
jacket was on the video.
It was
Game Awards.
it was so funny because as soon as it came up, that was the first thing I said.
You
I
said that, and I'm
texted
just
it.
like, because I saw Amir, who was the one that the recipient that won the award. I forget what the award was called, but it was
It was
the
like it was the achievement award. That was the
Yeah.
one. That because Amir is the person that's giving people in video games jobs.
yes, and pro bono or
Yeah.
basically
For-
like out of free. Basically, he was wearing one of Luca Designs' jackets.
Yes.
And I looked at him like, that's a pretty cool jacket. Then you messaged us like, that's Luca Designs. immediately after we get out of watching Kraven, you open up Instagram,
Yeah.
Luca Design.
He hit us up,
And
he was like, "Can you change? Make sure to put my full name because people are googling me right now."
we got 1 subscriber off of that
Yeah,
video,
so-
like on that day right
Yeah.
afterwards.
So I saw it, and immediately as soon as I saw it, I was like, I think that's a Luca jacket. And then I googled it while I was there, and I was like, it is. And then that's what I
Good.
I screenshotted it and I sent it off.
Go
Yeah,
check out the YouTube video.
Yeah, that's
It's up on
awesome.
our
Yeah,
YouTube
he
channel.
does an awesome job with his
Luca
jackets.
Designs.
I really still need to get one of those.
Yeah,
I might cop
but-
that Mass Effect one.
That Mass Effect
Out
one
of
does look
spite.
really cool.
Out of just being angry at Jeff.
But for the show itself, the show is really good. Everything else was really fun for being 4 hours and you really couldn't leave.
That's cool.
Like it was really, really cool.
Okami.
What's wrong with Okami?
I don't care.
Why?
great.
it's not the announcement he wanted.
It wasn't.
I know.
the announcement
Now
I
you're just being now you're being a little spoiled brat.
I am
That's
being
why.
spoiled.
You're
I
being
am.
a spoiled
And
little
what
brat.
gamer isn't spoiled? Nick,
Why don't you just
said it right
enjoy,
now?
Why don't you enjoy what you get? You're getting an Okami.
Do you?
sequel. Yes.
Do you?
I'm
enjoy
I'm
what
super
you get?
excited. I'm super excited about an
God
Okami
damn, dude.
sequel.
I just want.
I'm
what
excited
I
for
want,
Onimusha.
What I
I'm
also
excited for
want
all the
is
games.
Bethesda. Look, I get it.
You're not going to get what you
Indiana
want.
Jones- I want them to finish Elder Scrolls 6 so we can get Fallout 5.
You're not. No.
Oh my god.
Because you know what
dude.
you're going to get for Fallout? It's another broken game. That's what you're going to get.
That's fine.
No,
Dude,
it's
Todd
not.
Howard is so tiny compared to Jonathan Nolan.
The
It's like half his size.
I have to admit though, the one game in which I was like, I really want to play this game. Like that game was
Splitgate
cool.
one.
Huh? Split Fiction?
Yeah,
I really want to play Split
that's
Fiction.
cool. I wish I got
Split
my
Fiction.
announcements.
Split
That's
Fiction.
all.
I went in just going like, I wonder what I'm gonna get. Split Fiction was
Wow.
awesome.
You're such a good person.
Split Fiction was
so
awesome.
cool, dude.
Onimusha, I'm excited to see Turok.
Wow.
We got a Turok game
We
after
knew about
like
that one though.
no,
Yeah.
no one, no. That was a brand new reveal.
No, they kind of like they didn't officially say anything.
Okay,
but
so
they
we
were saying,
didn't, so we didn't know about it, but they teased
oh my god,
that
it's
it
not
might be
difficult
there.
to just jump on Twitter and see some sort of rumor that someone released.
Okay, but it's rumor. At
we
that
all
point.
knew this was gonna happen.
Not everybody knew.
Then get on Twitter.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hold on. Everybody also knew that the new Switch was going to be released. Everybody knew that the
Yeah,
Mass
exactly.
Effect 4 was going to be released.
But it
Oh,
wasn't announced there, so that's
so
what
there
makes me mad.
Okay, well there you go. See, everybody knew though.
Not the way I wanted,
Well, you're being a little brat right now.
and that's fine.
Why
I'll
don't
be
you
a
actually?
brat.
Why don't you be a participant in the conversation instead of being a little brat and sulking over
No,
there?
I'm good. I'm gonna get mad. Good for Okami though. I am happy for them. Yeah, I'm happy for them. But screw Jeff. That announcement was dumb.
You really got to get over it.
That announcement was so dumb.
That was really good. I'm excited for Onimusha. I'm excited for all the other games. Naughty Dog is coming out with some awesome stuff this
Naughty
year.
Dog got 2 announcements, no?
Well, Naughty Dog had the remaster of
The
Last of Us
remaster
2.
revival PC edition of
It was
Last
the
of Us.
it was the remaster for PC edition for Last of Us 2,
Oh.
and then they also are doing their new game. I forget what it's called, but it's
Intergalactic Space Mass Effect ripoff.
no, it's just you being a bounty hunter in space, and it looks the thing I liked about it is it looked very Ridley Scott.
It's so we were in the
It's
car
very,
watching
it's very
it.
70s mixed in with like
That's what we
future.
thought. Like, is this an alien game? Or
We
like,
went from we went from Mass Effect to No Man's Sky to Alien to
When you saw Porsche, you thought Mass Effect.
the way that it was colored.
It says
space.
Porsche on the back of it. On the back of the ship.
I was driving too, so I had it in there. I was like looking at the colors like from the side of my eye.
Oh, because when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, this is an interesting game." It also, this is like a hardcore, just like sponsorships everywhere. Because it was like Nike's, Adidas, what was it? Porsche, Burger King, Pepsi. It was all over the place. It was a good trailer. I'm excited, especially with Camille Nanjiani gonna be in it, and it looks like he's her old crewmate that she's now hunting down. That looks sick. I mean,
Interesting.
yeah, it looked really interesting. She's now a bounty hunter.
Naughty
And,
Dog.
huh?
It's Naughty
I
Dog.
know.
It's Naughty Dog. It's gonna be an interesting story. It's gonna
Good
be
story.
Can't wait to play it in 7 years.
no. It's only gonna be 2 years. I think it comes out.
Oh no, I'm not
2020.
going to be able to play it.
Why?
He doesn't have a PlayStation.
I don't have a PlayStation.
Who knows if it's even going to be on the PS5?
I'm not getting a PlayStation.
Well, who knows? Maybe they'll release it with a PC release. Who knows? Maybe they'll wise up in 2 years. I am interested in the what's it called? In the Squid Games video game. That looked pretty funny. That one was pretty funny.
I don't know. We'll see.
There was a lot of really cool stuff that's coming out. I think for the 10th anniversary of, I really enjoyed Indiana Jones and all in that. I've been playing the hell out of Indiana Jones. It's really good. It's really, really good. I'm having a great time with it.
A Bethesda game.
Yeah, I'm having a great time with it.
Todd Howard was there.
I'm loving Indiana Jones right now. I just made it to Cairo. Oh. And it's super fun, super great. What was it? I'm loving that third person. I mean that first person look, where you're just seeing Indy's hands and you have to like deal with everything else. It's super cool.
It's Troy Baker doing the voice.
It is Troy Baker doing the voice.
Do you believe that Harrison Ford actually thinks that Troy Baker did a good job? Because he did. I think he did great.
I'm thinking he's doing a great job. Yeah.
It sounds like
it's just Harrison Ford. It's kind of hard to believe some of the stuff he says sometimes.
I don't know.
Yeah. So
I mean, it is what it is. Troy Baker is doing an awesome job. The only thing is that people were giving him grief. Who doesn't? People were giving him grief because they were like, they should have gotten Harrison Ford. Why didn't they get Harrison Ford?
He's not trained voice actor.
They should have. I don't know why Harrison Ford didn't just do the voice. Blah 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 blah.
Because he doesn't have the patience to do it.
Well, I mean, not only that, but also. Like he's getting older. His voice doesn't sound like when he was young.
Yeah. He sounds like an old man.
He does sound like an old man, and Troy Baker's a talented voice actor that when we ask him to do something, he can do that voice. Yeah. And not only that, but also when you get Troy Baker, I don't just get Indy. I get 10 other voices with him. Whereas if I were to just hire Indiana Jones, if I were just to hire Harrison Ford, I'm just getting Indiana. That's it. That's the only voice that I get out of you. Troy Baker, I get him plus a background character, maybe a villain. I also get, maybe, some people talking or anything else. You can get so much out of Troy Baker. It just makes sense hiring him. He's a trained voice actor.
Yeah.
I don't think you needed to defend him that much. We all know this. It's just
because
you're trying to convince a community of people that are just difficult to convince.
But
we don't. We get it. Any sensible person would understand Troy Baker's fine.
Yeah. Honestly, he fooled me at first. He did fool me at first when I first started. I didn't realize it was Troy Baker at first.
Oh yeah.
I didn't think so.
When I heard his voice, I was like, dang, they really modulated Harrison Ford really well. And then I started listening to it more, and I'm like, wait, that sounds like Troy Baker. And like the more I listened to it as I was playing, I'm like, is that Troy Baker? And then I looked it up and I'm like, oh my God, it is Troy Baker. he tricked me at first, but you do get some Troy Bakers in there when he's talking. Because he has that like grizzled Indiana, and then sometimes when he's like yelling, you can hear Troy Baker coming out. So it's good. It's still good.
That was the Video Game Awards.
It was fun.
Good.
It was fun.
I want to see if we can all go next year.
Yeah, I mean where I was sitting, those tickets were $140.
No, but like as press or seat fillers, like you said.
Seat fillers would be cool. The only problem I had with like the seat fillers, because we had seat fillers around us, they didn't know which seats were going to be filled with people who actually bought tickets. So they were putting seat fillers around us, and then as people were coming in and going like, "That's my seat," they were then telling the seat fillers, "Get up, move, go over there." And then they were just moving them all over the place like hot potatoes.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
All right, let's use the last couple of minutes to talk about Kraven the Hunter, Sony's last movie.
Terrible.
Not terrible enough. No. You didn't want to shoot yourself.
No.
So funny story.
I feel like I was just bored. I was just like, it's just like.
Well, let's give them context because
it's just boring.
The day before, you ask on the chat. So we're all still going. Yeah. Sean says yeah. I say yeah. And your ass is like, I don't think I'll make it. Like, why? We're going to the Video Game Awards. Wow. Okay.
The Video Game Awards end at 8. Die. The movie started at 8.
Yeah, you let us die. So, meanwhile, I get no announcements I wanted, and we go watch
oh my God, a stupid movie. You are being such a little brat. I swear, you are being such a brat.
They were laughing their asses off because legitimately they were just like, damn, dude, this day sucks for you. And I'm just like, it's not going well. And we're going to go watch Kraven.
Not a good night.
Not a good night.
It's a great night for me.
That's great. Awesome. Anyways.
I got amazing crunch tacos. Those things are so good.
We get to the theater. We watch the movie for about an hour.
Yeah.
And then Nick messages us. He's like, hey, should I go in? Am I missing much? No, you basically miss his origin. You get to the part where they kidnap the brother. You jump on in. Legitimately, you get the rest of the movie. That was it.
Yeah.
It's not a terrible movie. I'm still on the same boat. I'm still on the boat of having watched. I could watch this more than I would want to watch Morbius or Madam Web.
I could definitely watch this one more time.
Not in theaters, though.
Oh, yeah. I definitely would watch it one more time just to get the final feel from it. I mean, it is... I think watching it again, it would be a slower watch. It would feel like, okay, yeah, this is taking a while.
So,
but I wouldn't mind it.
New Rockstar says that there was a lot of ADR. Was it a lot of the dialogue?
It's Calypso. It's a lot of her lines.
Why?
Lines. A lot of her lines, because if you notice when she's speaking, she's not on camera. So apparently during the test screenings, there was a lot of reports from people that were saying they didn't know who she was, and they couldn't remember who she was
because she wasn't on camera as much, or she wasn't.
They just couldn't remember who she was. That's why in the very beginning of the movie, you keep getting Calypso, come here, Calypso, do this,
Yeah,
Calypso did this, Calypso this, Calypso this, and they just keep repeating her name over and over again because apparently during the test screenings they were like, we don't know who this is. And they were just like, what do you think of the female of Calypso? And a lot of them were like, who is Calypso?
We don't know.
Yeah, like, we don't know who that is. And so they were like, oh, we need to give her more backstory.
So the New Rockstars video was kind of funny because, what's his name? The main host?
Huh?
The main host of New Rockstars?
Oh, I forget his name. What about him?
He made a comment where he said that he's kind of happy that this is the last
end?
of it. Like, there's nothing else for Sony to make.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of on that boat. No, I am on that boat, 100%. Just because I didn't understand the point of this movie. The whole advertisement for it was that Kraven was supposed to be a bad guy, but he wasn't.
No, and I feel like I feel that Sony Spider-Man movies, like these Sony Spider-Man villain movies, missed the point that Penguin understood. But
Yeah, I get what you mean.
But and when I say that, I mean it's the idea of you can have a character that we're rooting for, and you can have a character that you're interested in, but you shouldn't lose the idea of this is not a good person.
Yeah.
And that's something that when you were watching Penguin, when you got to the end and you were like, man, Cobblepot got it. Cobblepot made his way, man. Oh, I'm super happy that he's like he's an anti-hero. And then the minute that he, does that to Vic, you were like, that guy is a villain. He is a hardcore villain. You not doing that with Kraven and making it that he likes to hurt bad people makes no sense.
I'm watching.
Why does he go after Spider-Man? He's not a bad person.
No, he's not. They never explain any of that stuff, but that's because they can't use Spider-Man. But I'm watching a YouTube channel, Dead Meat. They do the kill counts of horror movies, and I got to the one where he did a series on the Fireflies, the family, Devil's Rejects, and House of a Thousand Corpses. And I was watching the Devil's Rejects one, and he made a funny statement or not a funny statement, a good statement about like having feeling sympathetic for bad people, where in Devil's Rejects you get all of the bad stuff of the family, and then halfway towards the movie when they're in the car and doing the road trip scene, you start to feel sympathetic because they become more humanized. And he's like, I don't get why they can't just move that to the beginning of the film, so that way we progressively get, more of the villainous side of it. By you guys explaining the Penguin, I feel like that's kind of what you get, where the Penguin is very much humanized at the beginning, and then you see the slow burn of him becoming the true villain that he actually is, because you got to see the human aspects of him as a kid.
Well, you see him at bottom.
Yeah, exactly.
You see him at bottom, and then he's like slowly grabbing power.
His methods of doing it are dangerous.
Yeah, and he's slowly grabbing power, and you can kind of see that he's ruthless. You can kind of see everything else, and then you're like, dang, I'm rooting for this guy. and then eventually you get the penguin that you get, and then you also get like a backstory like midway of like this is what happened when he was a kid, and this is what they mean by his brothers. For this, the whole backstory of like him going on, here's my. They made his mom such a huge part of this story, and like the whole fact of like in the very beginning of the movie, he gets picked up to go on a hunt because his mother killed herself.
We don't know why.
We don't know why, and I thought I think that would have been a good story to find out that his dad did it.
Yeah.
So you missed his origin.
I know what his origin is.
You do.
I ended up watching the new Rockstars thing, and it filled in all the pieces.
But the thing is that new Rockstars did a 17-minute video they spent like 2 minutes in that video talking about an origin story that was a full hour, which was the most ridiculous thing in that whole movie.
You could have cut it down to 17 minutes.
Like the fact that
condensed
Calypso is a vital character to Kraven.
Yes, because
100%.
she makes the elixir that he keeps drinking to give him vitality.
Exactly. But why do we need to see her at a young age somehow running into Kraven and giving him the potion because fate?
Yeah, and it was funny too because in that same video they were talking about how it's the wrong part of Africa that they're all in.
They're in Iceland. They're filming in Iceland.
Yeah, well, because they're filming in Iceland, so all like the African trees are CGI'd in the background, and then not only that, but also she's studying like witchcraft and tarot and all these other things that is more towards like Louisiana and like southern Africa, whereas they're in Ghana, which is in northern Africa, where they don't do that. And it's like, so why are we in Ghana? Like why did we go, why are we doing all of this to be in Ghana? I just don't understand the fall off with him and his dad. I kind of don't get it because Mom, mom has mental disabilities, everything like that. You don't really see a whole lot of mom. You find out that she offs herself. They go on this thing. The dad causes Kraven to get mauled by the tiger when they're going hunting because he shoots the tiger first. And
the lion.
Yeah. And then it drags off Kraven. Then Calypso saves him. And then he gets tiger powers? The lion powers? I don't understand the lion powers.
So he, a drop of the blood
falls in.
And then when he's reborn, the blood mixed in with his blood is the lion's blood.
So that's how we get superpowers.
So that's how we get superpowers, yeah. That's how he's entwined with, like, the animals.
But, you know what? I feel that it would have been just more interesting if it was a family secret. If it was like a family elixir that they have to keep taking, like his dad goes like, before we go on hunts, this is the elixir that we use.
That's what they wanted to do because throughout the movie they mentioned it twice of like, I was hoping that you had more of the elixir,
more of this elixir,
which he technically did at the end. But the problem I have with this movie, besides its entire existence,
that they turn off his powers whenever they feel like it.
Not that, it's just that everything is like half baked.
Yeah.
In terms of like, well, we have the ingredients to make a really good Kraven movie, and we just kind of like mixed the liquids and left the solids separate, and we aren't baking this cake.
Goofiest scene, and I could not believe it was one of like the first things I had seen once I got to the movie theater, is the scene in the castle when he's just ducked down and he's like perfectly being hidden behind two people.
I love that scene.
Every single time they turn around, he's just like, ooh.
Oh yeah.
I love that scene.
Yeah. And he's like and he keeps ducking, and he's like, didn't see me. And then like he like scurries up the stairs like a cat, and he's like,
I think my favorite part of that
I was like, what is he doing?
Is when one of the guys turns around and he also turns around with them to like copy the movement. It's a good scene.
I thought it was dumb. I thought it was so dumb.
That's why it's a good scene, because it's so dumb.
So dumb. I was like,
if you ride the wave of stupidity for this movie, there's brilliance in that scene.
No, it's not. No, I listen. If you were to go full stupidity, like if they would have just ridden the wave, and they would have gone like, you know what, Kraven's already this is already a dumb idea. Let's ride this rave. Like, let's just do a lot of drugs and let's make this movie. I think
Morbius.
You may have gotten Morbius, but you may have gotten a more interesting movie, because I also feel that what people were doing is going through the movie and they were trying to copy better movies.
They also realized they ran into too many enemies in the fact that you had the Rhino as the main antagonist, and then you also had the Foreigner, who technically could have taken Kraven down, but because he was too slow, ended up dying.
Is he too slow? I don't know. I don't like.
Well, why did you need to count down again when you had the gun pointed at Kraven? Every other person that he took down, 1, 2, 3, and then took him down.
Not only that,
waiting.
but also I'm just saying, I see a weird dude and he starts counting. I'm shooting. like the minute he goes 3, 2, boom. I'm like, that guy was weird. Like,
Just counted.
yeah, like that guy was he just came up and he was
Calypso
counting.
does that, but then she shoots and goes like 3 mother effer, and I'm like, oh god.
No, but I thought, but that's and that's the thing though, is that I would have really enjoyed if it was an elixir that he had to take, and it has a limited amount of time, and going like, okay, so I only have so much time for my invulnerability or anything else, and I'm just a great fighter and everything, because the moment that they're like, you can't take on the Rhino is too strong, he has too many men, and he's just like, I'm the best, I'm the hunter, I'm this, I blah 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 blah. I'm like, if you're the best, then you're not, like, then nobody can relate to you.
There was a moment in the movie where Kraven got too egotistical. It's
Yeah.
like, they can't take me down, and I'm like, so what happened to the humility you had
Exactly.
at the beginning of the film? And you're now all of a sudden think yourselves as the great hunter? Like, that makes no sense.
Yeah, but when I say, oh yeah, they just kept copying scenes from better movies. They were copying, Mission Impossible when he's running down and he's trying to catch the car.
He even
And
did
everything.
the Tom Cruise run.
He even did the Tom Cruise run. What was it called? As he's trying to get to the helicopter, he's trying to copy the Captain America scene where he's holding the helicopter. And even that scene was way cooler than this one, where he's like trying to wrap it against something, and then he's holding. I was like, like, you're just trying to copy better movies. Like, that's all you did. You were like, that scene was cool, this scene is cool, that scene's cool, this scene's cool, let's put it all inside of one movie. We got ourselves a blockbuster right here. And that's not how you make a movie. And they're trying to figure out how to connect everything with, like, Chameleon, or was it Chameleon, his brother?
Chameleon,
Yeah.
being Chameleon.
And they were
Dimitri.
like, how do we get him to be Chameleon by the end of the movie? And I think it would have been interesting if Rhino would have infected him.
Yeah.
Like, he would have, like, put the serum in him.
Well, that would require for Rhino to explain what his
Serum
condition,
is?
yeah, or what his condition was.
Also, I was confused because I mentioned it to Rene when I was sitting there, and I was like, I get the skin condition. Why did he get horns?
Why did he get horns?
Like, I don't, because that was my thing though. I get, like, him being like,
Yeah.
like him getting, like, hardened skin and he gets everything else and the leathery skin. I didn't understand why he just got 2 horns on the top of his head.
I think it's the assumption.
I didn't get it.
So I'm making my own assumption here. It was the doctor who gave him the horns as his skin hardened, because according to New Rockstars, which I didn't catch this detail, in the first hunting trip where Kraven becomes Kraven, he already has a skin condition.
Yes,
He's
he
talking
does.
to the dad.
Yeah,
But it's not fully developed yet.
No, because
Yeah.
but he mentions it too, that he was weak when he went on the trip
Exactly.
and everything.
So it could have just been the doctor. For me, the Chameleon was the better character. I was just more looking to his final reveal. That's all it
I
was.
would have loved, instead of Kraven's dad being the ultimate villain, if it would have been the Chameleon. If it would have been his brother who set everything up, and
that's what it made it seem like.
and he puts all of these pieces into motion, and he did everything else, and he blamed his dad, and he got his brother to kill his dad, and he was able to just push past everybody else and move everything, and you could have made the Chameleon Kraven's Moriarty.
They had the path for it, because there were multiple times before you started watching the movie where Dimitri kept telling Kraven, you always do this, you always leave me. There's always this resentment that he had.
Exactly.
So it would have made much more sense if he's like, I orchestrated my own kidnapping. I
Yeah.
orchestrated the framing that my dad supposedly did this. Had no idea it was me. I wanted to take over the
and
business.
I think that would have been interesting too, of like him just like, you see his finger like grows back, or like whatever,
Yeah.
like you see, or like he wasn't missing a finger at all, like he has a bandage on his hand, and you think, oh, he's missing a finger, and then like eventually, like you see him grab Kraven at the very end, and you see his finger there with the ring on it, and he's like, I thought your finger was cut off. And then he just goes, oh. And then you could have had that reveal. Like, you could have had, like, a cool reveal of him being this ultimate boss. And I think it would have been so much more interesting of when he showed at the end that he can turn into other people to just fade into a crowd. Like, Kraven couldn't differentiate him between everybody else, because
and that would have been his true hunt.
Yeah, and that would
his next hunt.
Yeah, and then the next hunt is trying to find his own brother. That I made a better movie in 5 minutes.
Yeah,
like talking it out. Like like we made a better movie.
Yeah,
that's way more interesting.
It's just
also make the Rhino interesting. Like I feel like, especially with the actor that they got. Dude, he's you know what other movie he's in?
I remember him from Face Off.
Yes, he's
Nicolas Cage's brother.
He's Nicolas Cage's brother. He's like his weird. He's his weird brother. He can go real weird. Make him real weird. Also, he should have grown.
Were you in the movie when he did the weird scream?
No, I missed that. I did miss
that. That was a funny bit.
I heard that a lot of people laughed during that scene. Like nobody knew if to take him serious.
Yeah, it was weird that they kept it in.
Do you know how it was again?
Oh,
He's like, oh no, it was weird. Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
He was
like hissing.
Yeah.
See, and I think it would have been more. I think it would have been more interesting if the Rhino was a condition that the serum is trying to keep subdued. I think that would have been a cooler idea.
There's a lot of possibilities overall.
Because I think, like, if you have it where, like, he has no control and he becomes kind of dumb. Animalistic when he starts running low, and that's why he has to have the backpack on and he has to do everything else. That would have been more interesting, because then during the fight with Kraven, when he pulls it out, that's when he starts rhinoing out.
The only excuse which I didn't like was that he had to have the serum, this concoction that he made himself, or that the doctor gave him, because turning into the Rhino was more painful. So then why did he turn into the Rhino at the end?
Well, why does he keep turning into the Rhino?
Exactly.
He just keeps doing it in different places.
So
also, thank God I rhinoed half my body and the guy didn't shoot me in the head in the very beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank God he didn't do that. There was a lot of things that are just silly. Like the movie is just silly.
Yeah.
Sony needs to stop making these movies.
This is the last one.
I that's what the reporting is. I don't know if they're gonna.
Unless this movie does well in China.
I don't think so. I don't know, because Venom did do really well, but also I feel like Venom was a better movie.
Venom had a lot more characters as well too, as of like symbiotes.
Yeah.
That's what's the moneymaker for them. Like when I talk to people that seen it and their kids see it, they're like, "Oh, they love the part with all the different symbiotes were coming out and stuff."
Colors.
Like that.
That's all they care about.
It's just colors on the screen.
Yeah.
All right, to wrap
up, Power Rangers.
Basically. To wrap up the conversation, rank Madam Web, Morbius, and Kraven. From you would watch it again to God no, please no.
Kraven, Morbius, and Madam Web.
Probably the same.
Kraven, Madam Web, Morbius.
Really?
You would never watch Morbius again?
No. I was upset.
I
upset.
I feel like Morbius is an actual movie. Like Morbius has a beginning, middle,
no,
and it's not.
I don't think you get to say that.
Neither does Madam Web. Madam Web.
That's true, but I had to sit through an issue where you were bombarding me with having convinced you to spend money. So I don't think you could say that, because I had to sit through abuse on that one. You were pissed.
I was upset.
Exactly.
And then I went to go see Madam Web, and I was like, "This is far worse."
That one was under
so much worse.
Yeah.
You said that you wanted to watch it for content.
Yeah, but I did that.
Exactly.
I can accept when I do things wrong.
Exactly.
I don't get mad at me when I do mean things.
What?
Yeah, I don't know.
You lost me on that one. But yeah, Kraven. Goodbye, Sonyverse.
Yeah,
hopefully we never see you again.
Yeah, hopefully somebody puts a shotgun in your mouth.
Hopefully you get hunted.
Right.
And it's done. Ladies and gentlemen, this wraps up issue 227 of Keeping Up with the Nerds.
You know what's wild though? It's so wild that they thought, let's come out with a Kraven movie, but they were in their video game department. They also had a Kraven project developing, and neither one of them talked to go like, hey, how are you guys doing, Kraven?
Yeah.
Oh, Spider-Man 2.
Because they were being developed at the same time.
Yeah.
And then in Spider-Man 2, like nobody went over to the video game department and went, hey, what are you guys doing?
Yeah. Like, how does he look?
Like, how does your Kraven look? What's his backstory? How's that? How does he work? And
does he have an interesting story in the game?
Yeah, he's like the greatest hunter, and like he's trying to find like the perfect prey to kill him.
Because so the actual video game or the actual comics.
Yeah, because he's trying to find, and he goes after Spider-Man's villains. And now he's trying to hunt, and that's why he's hunting Spider-Man, because he's hunted all of the people that have been adversaries to the Spider, and now he's going after Spider-Man.
Wow.
Somebody did say if you were gonna do this and you weren't gonna have Spider-Man, why not just use Eddie Brock and Venom, and just do it that way instead? Cut Spider-Man all the way out, and instead put Venom there instead of Spider-Man. Because it's kind of the same thing.
Make her mom afraid of ooze.
Whatever, but have him hunting Venom instead. Like have him hunting Eddie Brock, and then you have those two characters coming together.
We can talk about the different possibilities that Kraven could have done.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, this movie was made, and it is what it is.
Yeah, it's never gonna get a sequel.
Yeah, it's done.
Aaron Taylor Johnson must have like they had dirt.
Well,
they had Russell Crowe.
So I was telling them in the car. I go, isn't it funny how Kraven the Hunter is coming out, and then at the same time of this movie being released, Sony also released 28 years later with Aaron Taylor Johnson in it.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey guys, we know you're gonna watch this crappy movie with this actor, but hey, here's 28 years later with the same actor. He's in here, you know.
But you know what? I also can see them going, hey, we're gonna, if you want this role, I need you over here.
Yeah.
Like you have, because what might have happened is they have Aaron Taylor Johnson has 4 movies with us, where he has like 3 movies with us, and then them going, okay, cool, we need you in Kraven, and then him going, well, I want to be in 28 years later. Okay, cool, be in Kraven, you're in 28 years later. Yeah, and that's the trade-off because he was a big name. I need a big name attached as the main actor. That's how studios work.
But he didn't do a bad job.
No,
he was good.
No, I feel like when in a movie where everybody's a statue, it's hard to pick out which one was not really doing its job.
That's true.
Russell Crowe was having fun.
You can tell. Yeah.
Oh, he's getting paid.
Yeah, he was getting paid, and he was having a lot of fun. Yeah. He was like 3 days of work, and he was like, yeah, I'm having fun.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, we're trying to wrap up the show again.
Okay.
Any last thoughts?
No. You didn't ask me, that's why
I asked. Okay, sure. All right. This has been Keeping Up With The Nerds, issue 227. Don't forget to check out our website, keepingupwiththenerds.com, socials, Instagram, Facebook, and x.com. Check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Keeping Up With The Nerds, and check out our audio platforms, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Podbean.
Yeah, that's one of them.
There you go. I forgot.
That's okay.
Sean will be back next week, hopefully. There's the gift exchange. You can't miss that.
Yeah.
If he does, I guess he's not getting.
Did you get him?
Huh?
Did you get him? Is that why?
I didn't get him.
I think you got Sean.
Who do you think each other got?
I think you got Sean. You got Nick. And I can't tell you who I got.
I was gonna say, it was like.
Wait, that doesn't make any sense.
And I'm like, you're kind of
giving out.
winding it down, yeah.
We'll see what happens next week.
Good job. Hey Rene, just letting you know he got you.
Go for it. Grab it up.
All right, this has been issue 227, right?
Yes.
Okay. My name's Rene.
Nick.
This is Bryan.
Recording at Undercity Comics. We'll see y'all next time.
Why did you stop me?
I don't know.